within. Oh, oh, you've been the reason we've all kept on dreaming like we couldn't ever be eclipsed. When the fighting we gets buried and my own backbone forgets me, you would choose to still defend me and lend me the strength we need. We made it through catastrophes, through calamities. You are all we need. We made it through catastrophes, through calamities. You are all we need. You're the cavalry, the stars we're facing, the wars we're waging. They don't faze me, 'cause we made it through catastrophes, through calamities. You are all we need. You're the cavalry. Ooh, ooh. When I'm in too deep, ooh, ooh, and I'm out at sea, you would rescue me. You say we'll get through this together. We'll get through this together. We made it through catastrophes, through calamities. You are all we need. We made it through catastrophes, through calamities. You are all we need. You're the cavalry, the stars we're facing, the wars we're waging. They don't faze me, 'cause we made it through catastrophes, through calamities. You are all we need. You're the cavalry.
Okaini Wakikitachi! Welcome into our first stream of the day. Definitely first stream. No other stream. Okay. In all seriousness, you guys, thank you, Jason. That was very helpful. Very quick catch. Thank you. Hang on. Oh my gosh. There we go. Tadaimasu! I'm so sorry, guys. I'm still here. I just need to set up chat properly. Okay. All right, guys. Burp. Hello, you guys. Hello. Welcome in. Hi, Soul. Hi, Jason. Hello, blah, blah, blah. Hello, Genrail. Hello, Kajoka. Hello, Click. Hello, Elbound. Hello, Jeffter. Hi, guys. Anyways. So, to summarize what happened. We were originally supposed to be watching the copyright edition of music for Arknights, but unfortunately we got hit with a pretty big copyright for videos, so it actually suspended that stream, and I was not able to get it back up. So instead of doing the copyright, we're going to play it on the safe side, and I'm actually going to be reacting to a video by Sunol. Someone had given me this idea last stream and was like, hey, do this. It might be fun. And I was like, okay, sure. And it's called the Ultimate Arknights Iceberg. So everyone, please check out Sunol. I have their ads everywhere here. It looks like they make a lot of different gacha game content. Please give them a look. And I hope that it is okay that I watch this. Anyways, since there's no record of last stream, the only update that I have is thank you all for becoming a Wakyaku on the Rise for another month. Thank you so much. He makes good stuff, mostly memes. Okay. Oh, you guys watched it too? If you guys haven't, please consider doing so because it also supports Sunol's channel. I swear copyright on YouTube is not great. Well, I won't say anything. Number one Faust simp getting watched. Man, he is deep into A-Key too. Hey! If Sunol's also a Faust simp, then we understand each other very well. But I did not come up with an hour in an hour. I did not come up with a new idea in an hour. This actually took me a little bit. Anyways, And also I got the suggestion, but. Okay, so hello everyone. Here we go. Let's get started with this video. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this entire thing has to offer. So if you guys are ready, without further ado, why don't we get this started? Why don't we get the show on the road? Let me just adjust this so you guys have a better scope of everything. Gosh, hello everyone who is joining in. Hello, hello. And I'm going to be keeping an eye out on any other copyright things, so we're gonna try to both pay attention and pay attention to everything. Okay.
Now I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Before making this video, I was 1000% sure an Arknights Iceberg had already existed. I was sure someone had made a video about it or somebody already made the de facto iceberg. But from what I've seen, the only iceberg video is about the base system, which is quite honestly based. And any other icebergs I've seen are either focusing on one topic instead of the whole community or are a couple of years old. And because of that, I've decided to make this the ultimate Arknights Iceberg. I wanted to cover most things about the community and the game itself. So to do this, I asked my Discord, Twitter, Reddit, Roof.
Why is there a picture of Suzeraina's Broly?
Years old. And because of that, I've decided to make this the ultimate Arknights Iceberg. I wanted to cover most things about
Is that Suzeraina?
the community and the game itself. So to do this, I asked my Discord, Twitter, Reddit, Rule 34, but above all, I also checked out other icebergs that the community has made.
Oh gosh, it hasn't even started and I'm already like...
I also checked out other icebergs that the community has
Oh,
made.
sweet
So before
Lord.
getting into it, you can find all the other icebergs I've
gosh.
used to make this video linked in the description. And I would also like to thank everyone in my
Oh my
Discord who helped
gosh.
add segments to this and provided explanations to the things I had zero clue about, like the Institute. So with all that being said, let's get into the iceberg, starting with layer 7. So, ex-wife, let's talk about it. It's a meme that was made around when the game released. The joke was that since Kelsey talks to the doctor in a, colorful way, she was the doctor's
Colorful.
wife in the past. And pretty soon the community ran with the meme, making art about it, jokes that she's the doctor's ex-wife and is jealous that the doctor will not only continue the bloodline, but will continue multiple bloodlines. However, we now know the truth about Kelsey's feelings. Turns out, she wasn't a tsundere after all, she just fucking hated us. But in Vigilia, her opinion took a turn for the better. So, all in all,
Oh
she
gosh,
wasn't the
there's
doctor's
bad words in
ex-wife.
this video.
However, future wife is still kinda on the table. And let's talk about the doctor's daughter now. So the meme of Ami being a donkey and W being a cockroach is really easy to explain. It exists because of Ami's 10-foot long TV antenna ears that makes her look like a donkey. And in the case of W, she just is a cockroach. Currently getting hunted down by Melantha with her skill, which is a meme unintentionally made by Kyo. They make guides for Arknights using low rarity units, and since Melantha is a really strong 3-star, she appears in most of them. And in those guides, you can be sure to hear
Activate the Melantha skill now.
he said it so much to where whenever the community activates her skill, his voice faintly
Activate the
plays in the
Melantha
background. He's pretty much Pavloved us. Now let's talk about Billy. Long story short, it's basically Chinese YouTube. Now the reason I bring it up is because, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, the creators on that platform go kinda wild. There are so many high quality videos uploaded about Arknights daily. Now I mean, I can't understand a word that is being said, but at the same time, this is one of the funniest things I have ever seen. And I never thought someone could make a montage of Arknights gameplay, yet here it is. So they need to be included because even though most Western fans may not go on Billy or understand the videos on it, the amount of memes and genuinely amazing creations on it is a gigantic part of the community. By the way, those videos are linked in the description. So continuing the bloodlines is a meme so large that if you told me you haven't heard it, then I would shoot you on the spot, as there's a 99% chance you are an alien imitating human speech. The meme came from Resident Evil on how Chris Redfield really wants his sister to have a wholesome time with Leon S. Kennedy. And the Arknights community evolved this meme to never before seen heights. In fact, it'd be easier to say that if a bloodline exists, someone has drawn a comic of the Doctor wanting to continue it. The Neurals, the Royal Banshees, Silver Ash, Amina's sisters, Astasia the Swede, that's right, literal gods, and hell, in-game even Holahack brings it up. The community's logic is literally, if a bloodline exists, then someone needs to continue it. But if everyone's bloodline wishes came to fruition, then by the end of Arknights, half of Terra is gonna come from the Doctor. And quite honestly, that shit would be peak writing. Actually, Hypergriff needs to do that. Speaking of peak, Wheels, let's talk about them. So Wheels is someone who draws and animates a ton of things, mostly pertaining to Arknights. And their animations are, well, yeah, let me just say this. There's a reason they're at the top of the iceberg. Everyone's seen them. Like, deadass, I got friends who ain't even heard of Arknights before. Hell, they refer to it as Ark of Knights, and them motherfuckers still know about W-Dance. Possibly because I always spam the skill issue gif of her dance to them, but that's besides the point. Everyone knows about Wheels' drawing, so much to the point where they actually worked with Yostar and did the animations for a fair bit of live streams. So it's pretty normal to say that they are one of the most well-known artists in the community. And little side note, the Shadowbringers animation they did is my favorite. They absolutely cooked in that one. And the idea of Amiya being the Warrior of Light is perfect because hearing her say this line would make me reach
Know that I'll kill God, your God, if I have to, maybe if I even don't. Wait, they did a Shadowbringers animation for Arknife? That seems awesome! Just because I like, what's it called? I like XAV stuff.
That shit would be funny as hell. Almost as funny as the,
Dark Knights.
translations, unfortunately. Now, many people know this, but Arknights has had a few, maybe more than a little few, moments where the translations wasn't precisely the most clear thing known to man. Yeah, I'ma stop beating around the bush. That shit was kinda ass at times. Now, this isn't me talking shit. Some of these chapters have a larger word count than a book, and a new event is dropped bare minimum once a month. So it's entirely understandable to have mistranslations, and the most recent chapters have had much better quality in my opinion. Bar the whole 4 attack is physical damage 120% times translation that happened fairly recently. But yeah, in the past there were a lot of cases of pretty fucking funny translation errors or times where the tutorial was kinda, not in English. And let's not forget the birth of, or my personal favorite, Annihilatio. All in all, I kinda like the translation errors because...
Annihilatio. I didn't even know that happened. They forgot to put N in here. They did Annihilatio. Annihilation. Okay,
you know, they make me laugh. Yosar should do more of them. Yo, hell, sign me up for the translation team. In a week, all the players will be wondering why every event culminates in saying that Exia is the best waifu.
That was there for 3 years. They left it in there for 3 years. Annihilatio 1, Annihilatio 2.
And on the topic of best girl, let's talk about the man that can become them all, Thorns. So Thornification is a name heralded by the people of the community, used to describe a process that rivals the power of God. It is a phenomena that describes how every waifu, not only in Arknights but in other games as well, how they all turn into thorns. Where it came from, nobody knows. Why
Oh gosh, why are they all thorns now? Why is everyone just thorns?
done? Nobody knows. What's the meaning of it? Well, nobody knows. Why it's done? Nobody knows. What's the meaning of it?
Oh, it's beautiful. This is the best version of thorns I've ever seen.
Well, we all know that. It's because Thorns is pretty damn hot. Hell, it got so big to where Blue Archive even made one of its official characters look like Thorns. This is not misinformation, I swear. It's as true as 1/7 being the endgame content for Arknights.
Okay, guys. No, I gotta actually share this. I gotta share this. Okay, so I remember when I first saw this girl in Blue Archive, I thought that she was
Blue Archive
Thorns.
even made one of its official...
I legitimately thought this was Thorns. I was like, wait a minute, is Thorns a female? Did they make a femgirl
This is not
version
misinformation, I swear.
of Thorns?
It's as true as 1/7 being the endgame content
So-
for Arknights. Now, if you somehow don't know, 1/7 is this stage that gives you these rocks. Thing is, you need roughly a million of these rocks, which causes 99% of players to just auto this stage when there's no event going on. Everyone eats the rocks, it's unavoidable. And this is by far the best stage to get them, therefore, if you play Arknights, until the rock mines you go. And you can also use them to make rolls, but that process is largely not worth it. Doing that shit is kinda a lap dumb moment, which would be this phase. Consequently, this is also the face I make when I avoid farming 1/7 and can suddenly not raise any operators due to a rock deficiency. But it was made for this art trip by this person, and since it was funny as fuck, the community started using it everywhere. Now, we're talking about lap dumb, let's talk about one of the dumbest times for the entirety of the community. So, after the first anniversary livestream, there was a secret outro, and in this outro it displayed the art of 6 future characters yet to be released. Thorns, Mountain, Golden Glow, Cheeto, Suitor, and Saga. And where the entire community got played for fools, kind of their own making, was Golden Glow. The only thing we had to go off of was this little art of hers. She appeared nowhere else prior to this. And people started saying how she looks like Korone due to her dog ears. And since we didn't know her name, people either called her...
Wait. Golden Glow came out after Corone? A Cheeto? Wait. Oh, I missed that. But he did call that a Cheeto. Oh, wait. Look like Golden Glow. Wait, I thought that Corona came out after Golden Glow. You know what? Whatever. We're just gonna keep playing it.
And this was her name for a long time. The thing is, that reveal was around April 27, 2020. We didn't get her banner until February 15th, 2022. It took almost 2 years between when she was revealed and when we got her. And when she was revealed, the NDA was lifted, and that's when her artist, Nami, opened the floodgates.
Oh gosh.
For damn near 2 years, every single person in the community was calling her Pink Dog. We thought she was a dog. Then Nami came in and revealed the truth no one was remotely ready for. She was a cat. You had to sit back and watch everyone call her daughter a dog as she was under NDA and was unable to...
I've been holding this in for years. Let me talk to you about my girl.
Reveal the truth, that she was instead a Scottish fold cat. Now, in defense of the community, Scottish fold cats are like fucking dog weeaboos, so I think we get a pass on that one. But that is what birthed the legend of Pink Corone. On the topic of not fully understanding who or what an operator is, let's talk about Ansel. Now, say it with me. I know you're thinking it. Would. But before Art on Rule 34 reveals this to you, let me either break your heart or make you reach Nirvana. It kinda...
What is Rule 34? If it exists... Alright, we're moving on. It
depends on the person. Now, Ansel has beautiful pink hair, some of the prettiest art in the game, and is all around peak. But he's a guy. Now at that, you are either like this, or like this. Now, depending on the person, either you're welcome, or you should have been gay. Skill issue, to be honest. Speaking of skill, let's talk about 1Ps. This is a self-imposed challenge where you're only able to have out one character at a time. Is there any reason to do it? Nah. Does it look cool as shit? You're goddamn right it does. So 1Ps are literally just a genre of a way to clear stages. I mean, there's many different genres. Either Defender Knights, where you only use Defender, Caster Knights, Niche Knights. If there's a challenge to be imposed on oneself, you can be assured that the Arknights community has done it. This is the most productive masochism I have ever seen. I never thought clearing a stage while only using one towel would be something people thought to do, but I'll be damned if it ain't kinda amazing to watch. Something else that's amazing though is the beans. Let's be honest, we've all seen them. I ain't really gotta explain what the beans are. Hell, I've seen more art of the beans than regular art of the Swee siblings, which then made me question something. Who made them? I thought Wheels did, as they've done some bean-oriented animations for live streams, but when I asked them about it, they said that South AC made them. Then I went to ask South AC about it, but yeah. So instead I messaged them on Pixel and found out 10 days.
Get subscribed on Twitter to message now. Oh my god. Get verified today. I love this guy's timing. This timing is so great. There's something that I enjoy about comedic timing that absolutely destroys me. Let's see what you guys got here. Nami truly loves her creation. Best girl. Oh dear, how innocent. Sweet beans. Beans. Doing some journalism here. All right. Anyways, get your bean plushie now. Hello, I'm making an Arknight video. Sui sibling memes. Okay.
Days later that the last time they uploaded on Pixiv was a year ago. So they probably ain't ever gonna see that message. In terms of my non-interview sleuthing, I couldn't find any art they've done of the beans. So if I were to hold a guess, I'd say that they were commissioned to do it for official merch. Regardless, they're the creator of the beans we all love, so make sure to follow them, especially because their Sinclair art is peak. And another thing that's peaking is the last note of layer 1 is Mastima's tongue. I'm not gonna cap, saying that out loud was much weirder than I thought it would be. So the premise of this one is simple. Mastima has a blue tongue. Why? Well, her lead 2 artwork shows it to be bare minimum canon. Now if you ask me why it's blue instead of, well, fucking not blue, I really cannot give you an answer. Most I can say is, your boy ain't really complaining. Let's move on to layer 2, Instant Noodles, which describes the harrowing, evil, and downright insane action the doctor did. The action was putting instant noodles in their mouth, still solid mind you, then taking boiling water and dumping that into their mouth, which then instantly cooked the stale noodles, which were then eaten. Now, that is optimal, but it's also pretty fucking crazy. Cherry on top of it is, apparently, this shit was done at 4 a.m. Kelsey was the one who specified that, and she even went so far as to say that the doctor was really good at it. Which means not only was this shit done once, it was done enough to get good at it. Now you may think to yourself, this is but a simple jab at the doctor by their ex-wife. Yeah, no, it was confirmed in Shirayuki's operator record. In fact, she even called it genius. So yes, this shit is canon, and the hot water kettle from Fugmas even has this description on it. So all in all, the doctor is fucking crazy, but not as crazy as Skeleton. She was not only the first live 2D operator or the first alter form of an operator, she was also the first operator who came from a different timeline. Now that sounds amazing, truly a monumental moment in Arknights' history, something the cult of Kya Scotty can be fully and entirely proud of. But this is Arknights, nothing is happy forever. Or, hell, nothing is happy, period. The thing is, Sculptor is from a different timeline, in which she joined the hive mind of the Seaborn as their god, Ashar-Mla. That's able to happen because even though Ashar-Mla was hunted and killed by the Abyssal Hunters in the past, after the battle was done, its blood went into Scotty.
Yeah, Scotty! Please be the one to heat up the kettle. There's too much fan art for these memes that Arknight has put in here. Mind the caps. Yes, please mind the caps.
Scotty's wounds, causing it to lie dormant within her. And if Scotty embraces her Seaborn blood, that will result in her kind of pulling an Eren Yeager and killing like 90% of the people in the world. This text explains it all. Basically, Terra finally fucking came together for once and threw everything they had at the Seaborn. The Grand Knights, the Emperor's Blades, the Apostolic Gun Knights of Laterano, the Golden Gods of Leithania, the weapons of mass destruction created by Columbia, the ancient arts of Sami, and the leadership of Yan, keeping the crumbling nations standing together. Yet, they were not a match for the Seaborn at all. Humanity only got a singular city to survive in, a stronghold, after Kelshi begged the Firnamuts, the Beastmasters, and used all ancient technologies just to build a last stand against the Seaborn. A race of creatures that are a hive mind which evolves after any combat encounter, spreading their knowledge on how to kill whatever hunts them. And Sculptor is leading them all so she can reach the Doctor. Reason is because she loves the Doctor, which then caused an obsession when she turned into Ashar-Mla, where she wanted to be with them at the cost of humanity.
Oh no.
All of it. And her voice lines confirm that even with the last city, the Abyssal Hunters have died, and so have Kelshi and Amia. In fact, all the Doctor's friends have died. Sculptor is the worst possible timeline that can happen. If she becomes Ashar-Mla, then everyone will die. The Seaborn are just too strong. In a nice 3 ending, we see Best Boy Mizuki pull up and save humanity, but if he hadn't done that, everyone would die. But that's a different timeline from the Sculptor one. Thankfully though, canonically, neither of these timelines have happened. Granted, it still always can. Scotty's kinda a ticking time bomb. But since this topic is a little too depressing, let's move on to the person who made our savior
Okay, so my understanding is that Scotty is, or Skia is addicted to you. I know of many people that enjoy a woman with exceptional obsessions. I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay with this. Oh gosh, no.
Mizuki. As I said prior, Nami is the artist of Mizuki and Golden Glow, basically their mother. And my lord, she shows her motherly love often. On her Twitter, which you should follow by the way, you can see many posts where she asks about Mizuki and Golden Glow. Either plushies of Mizuki, advertisements of Golden Glow, Risk 18 clears with them, or Mizuki's soft armpits. And also Mizuki in a maid outfit, and yes, this is peak, we need it as a skin. But she has been very prolific with her love for her characters, and Golden Glow decided she did not give a damn about that fact. When Nami went to roll for her, she decided to aim for max potential, which ended up costing her about 587 pulls. Well, it wasn't about that much, it was actually specifically that much. And that only gave her 5 copies, so for the last potential she used class coins. But that stream showed us 2 important and beautiful things. 1. Nami's love for her children. She is willing to do anything to max potential them. It is really beautiful. And 2. We got to see the strat Hypergriff uses to get back all the money they spend hiring artists. But truly it's a god tier business strategy, on the same level as the KFC collab. So KFC canon refers to these skins we got in the past from the collab. Now because of that, KFC is essentially canon in Arknights. The wild part is, this was meant to be some big hidden secret whatever the fuck because it happened years ago, and after placing it on the iceberg, they kinda just did the collab again. Now I'm not saying they did that because I put it on the iceberg, but I am saying that y'all should thank me for giving global players another Exia skin, as originally only CN had the collab and global didn't get the skins. It was like that because they made the collab before the global version was out, which meant we didn't get the Exia skin. And
Okay, let's see. She also best frenemies with Scotty's artist. I love that. I actually do. I love when artists are friends slash enemies with each other.
And I
It's
suppose
so
the other
fun.
skins too, but like, who the hell cares about them? Instead,
Wait,
let's talk about
wait. KFC rerun shown in the 4th anniversary? That means we'll get KFC? Holy heck, we'll get fried chicken over here. Who wants some fried chimkin? I know I want some fried chimkin. Honestly, I just want the skins. Wait, that means there's a chance for WWC rerun. We're getting all the collabs. Yes, me, a late player, can finally have every collaboration. Finally, my FOMO is cured. Yeah. My disappointment isn't immeasurable, and my day is ruined. only CN. What about us? The interns said they're trying to get the collab. They better. No. Every time. I'm sobbing on the inside right now, you guys. I'm sobbing. My heart breaks with every global thing. I'm sorry that I can't read another language. It's already hard enough for me to read English. Can you please spare me for just 5 minutes? Okay, anyways.
Something people really care about though, Saria and Silence. So in about the first year of the game, people start to ship Saria and Silence. We have their relationship dynamic more pinned down now with stuff like Ifrit's manga, Lone Trail, etc. But in the past, we didn't know shit. We just knew Silence wasn't a big fan of the muscle mommy, and in spite of that, Saria openly wore her feather. Which I know seems kinda whack, like she just snapped that shit off of Silence, but it holds a different meaning. Liberi, the Burb race, give their feathers to someone they're affectionate towards. Which means that in the past, Silence was affectionate to Saria. We know why now, but year 1 it was basically speculation. And Silence really wanted Saria to stay the hell away from Ifrit, who also has her feather, which made the ship of Saria and Silence seem like Silence was the lone mother doing her best for her kid Ifrit, while Saria was the deadbeat dad. Of course we know now what the relationship is more specifically, but that was always a funny early ship. And quite possibly the funniest piece of drama was easily the Arknights designs are over-sexualized. So this was a fun one. Hell, I even made a video about it. It all started when this person made a comparison between Arknights designs and Genshin designs. They said that in their opinion, Arknights designs are good whilst Genshin designs feel lifeless, using Golden Glow as an example. Then someone came in and said that her design is just a bunch of random shit thrown together. And they decided to double up on that statement by saying Arknights designs are just hypersexualization to appeal to horny teenagers, which then caused the greatest.
Rest in peace, Scent of Rosemary. I know exactly where this is going. Drama was more like the community clowning on someone. Man, this is why you don't pull out all stops on that. The moment you try to pull out a bad take, not a hot take, because a hot take means there's actual reasoning for it, but a bad take, you get in trouble.
Ratio I have ever seen. It felt like about 8 million people came out of the woods and hunted their ass down with
It's not a hot take. You know what? It ain't even a lukewarm take. It's just like it's a take that you take to the recycling bin because it doesn't even deserve to be in the garbage take.
with the greatest smackdown of all time. Everyone was quote retweeting their ass with pictures showing just how over-sexualized Arknights is, showing Fiametta wearing regular clothes, or displaying Shining in her Aileen the Crow cosplay, and lest we forget Mudrock wearing her sultry full-body armor. Yeah, long story short, the community had a fun time cooking them, and honestly, the cherry on top is no one was really mad at them. I mean, some people probably were, but for the most part, people just clown on them and that's it. For once, internet drama didn't dissolve into death threats and doxing. It was just a fun time. So all in all, it was a wholesome moment where the community came together and showed how Arknights designs weren't over-sexualized. It was
A wholesome moment where everyone came together and they united the Arknights community just to destroy one individual. One person had a hard time. At least I was here for the Hayamis. I'm pretty sure it's gonna get crazier. Sunil's really funny. This video has been great so far. Case used to make an AK skin showcase to a Genshin player. Rest in peace,
It's also a time where the
Genshin.
entire community tried to pretend like Utage's summer skin was fan art only. Another wholesome Arknights related thing is the phenomena of Ak bringing operators to Glocko Clock whenever they're in the Ifrit tile. You see, Ak has his funny little third skill that can retrieve an operator. Forcefully. Which is many dub him as the imposter amongst Rhodes Island.
Oh my gosh, did he really just say... Did he really just...
He'll have used his skill to great success. The succession being the murder of anyone who dares enter into the Ifrit tile. Now you may ask me, what is the Ifrit tile? Well, it's a tile for Ifrit and her unique range. And from there, you may ask me, why did Rosmantis have to die? That wasn't a good tile for Ifrit and she wasn't even in the squad. And to that I say, ask 777 Ucky, not me. Speaking of Ucky, god gods, let's talk about them. And yes, Ucky is a god god, there is no better way to finish this stage. But this point of the iceberg exists to cover all the channels that made Arknights honestly bearable at times, cause there was no goddamn way in hell I was about to do pinch set without a fucking guide. But there's Kyosin V who's uploaded guides even since the game release, same goes with Ekijin. Dr. Silvergun is a channel who completes many things with just 4-star units, and honestly, that shit is respectable as hell. I think I'd lose my mind if I had to do that. And outside of the scope of guides, there's also many people who upload operator breakdowns, like E, which maybe isn't the best example as he recently stopped making Arknights content. But even with that being the case, they were a great part of the community.
Graphic design is my passion. I also like how it's just a chow from Sonic Adventure. Heck yeah.
Their videos fucking slapped, and they deserve all the success in making different content. And Ucky has stopped uploading videos. Though even with that being the case, many in the community still appreciate the work they've done and the memes they've made, like the Forbidden Book of Yeet. And when it comes to memes, Tactus has also been delivering them since the game's launch, making .exe, sprite animations, and characters singing. He also translates and uploads Bilibili videos and gives the revenue to the creators from Bilibili. He even helped me out when I got a fraudulent copyright claim on a rolling video, so all in all, that motherfucker's my goat. Another guide creator is Peter YR, who was basically base god for EN players. They've shared a lot of resources and strategies on making your base as efficient as possible. And honestly, there's a shit ton more Arknights content creators I can mention, but the video is already like 2 hours long, so I'll just cut this segment short. And also because, I mean, Kukikaze literally made a video recapping all the content creators of the game. But I did want to talk about the content creators who've made videos for the game and have either helped the community through the most CBT-inducing stages, gave us funny memes, made the base more efficient for maxing out Exia, or handed out recommendations on who to build and who to avoid like the plague. One character you should aim for though is Jessica. Not for any gameplay incentive, nah dog, it's because she can fund the creation of a second universe. Let's talk about the richest cat. Now her father is the CEO of Raytheon. Long story short, big ass business, lots of money. As a result of
Wait, Jessica's rich? I didn't know this.
this, she can fund all of your limited banner roles. Due to her having enough money to buy heaven from God, many people have been speculating that the reason she has 3 skins and an alternate form is because canonically she owns Hypergriff and has all outfits in Terra. What we're seeing is only an infinitesimal amount of her wardrobe. You may think this to be a hyperbole, but think of this. Her father runs Raytheon, a weapons company, in Terra. The land that has a war every single month. Business is booming, and I mean that in a literal way. So long story short, that's how Jessica can canonically buy Rhodes Island with her pocket change. Hell, her garbage can probably be used to fund 8 different E2s. And on the topic of garbage, let's talk about the man that fell into a garbage collector, Kevin. So in the third Annihilatio, you can see a jetpack soldier have their jetpack malfunction.
The third Annihilatio. Oh gosh, dang it, that's good. That got me. Raytheon's based on the US weapons company Raytheon. Oh, okay. I mean, it makes sense, you know. If Arknife is always in a war, of course. But anyways, let's move on to Kevin.
And drop into the garbage collector. That's Kevin. In the past, him and Ethan were friends who wandered around the world together and decided to join Reunion. Though later on Ethan left Reunion and Kevin became a Yeti Squadron member, which then led to his path of falling into the hole. Not only once, but every single time we auto this stage. He's basically going through a fucking re-zero death loop. Now some brave souls try to save him from this fate, and it was impossible, until Irene released. Her skill is able to levitate Kevin and allow him to go away from the hole and live a better life. That is, until he goes into the blue box and the doctor eats him. which is possibly why it might be better to just let him live and drop into the hole. As in Ethan's operator record, he heads out to find Kevin. The two of them meet. Ethan gives him neuropathy medicine and sees that Kevin is living a normal life in Lungman as a soda seller. Then the two say their farewells and head off on their own paths in life. Kevin to continue living in Lungman and Ethan to continue being used only by doctors following Kyo's guides. I mean, come on, everyone follows them. Just like how everyone knows the torture of
Okay, so when is Kevin getting released as a playable op? Can we recruit him? I'd like
early
Kevin.
ads. Because I'm going to keep it 100 with you, the early Arknights ads felt like a psyop to kill the game on global. In my personal opinion, this game kinda good, right? But the ads made it seem like the shittiest gacha cash grab of all time. There was literally an ad that showed the characters getting their ass whooped in a stage, and the way to beat the stage was to not implement any strategy whatsoever, but to instead gacha for a 6-star. Bro, not only did they wipe away any semblance of strategy this game has in that ad, they also completely ripped off my strategy for clearing stages. That was some bullshit right there. But the ads did try to make the game seem like the horniest Coomer bait known to mankind that has throwaway gameplay you can clear by just grinding and leveling your units. Which actually makes a lot of sense as to why the ads were that way. I actually just came to the realization that the ads in Arknights were not a psyop to ruin the game's reputation on global. Nah, he just mixed up the marketing campaign with what Azura Lane wanted to sell their game as. Holy shit, that makes a ton more sense. Yostar must have switched up the advertisement guidelines for the two games. Jesus, after 3 years, I finally found out why they were so ass. Man, I feel like I know everything right now. Damn, yo, call me Kelshi. Or don't. I actually don't want to be called the Old Well. Now, Kelshi's nickname comes from two...
Old Well. Okay. I won't lie. Suno's transitions are also really good too. But wait, those ads are like the ones that I get of like Gotcha Gods or something like that. Where they have that one dude who's like, all weak and then suddenly he becomes buff. And then he gets all the women or something like that. He does something. Did you end up watching the Holy Nightland special animation? I did not. Hi, hello, Alfie. Welcome. All right.
Two factors. The first one being her age. So, in case you don't know, spoilers for Kelshi's module record Walk in the Dust Lone Trail in Chapter 11. Skip to here if you don't want to be spoiled. But long story short,
okay.
She's immortal. She has lived for many years back when the Sarkaz and Sancto were known as the Tikaz. She witnessed the fall of Gaul. Hell, she was even there when the Battle of the Four Emperors happened. She saw the creation of Kirag, lead to the genocide on the Sarkaz, and she even
Holy
died,
heck.
to only be resurrected after time had passed. Her real name is Amaten, and she was created by the ancient civilization that came to Terra. She's trying to save Terra, and her actions so far have been for that goal. In a walk in the dust, she prevented Columbia from acquiring weapons of mass destruction. She stopped a war between Victoria and Ursus, and acquired the Rhodes Island landship to start the company. She knows most things about Terra and is on a mission to make it a better world, to save it. Even though she herself is not the most powerful person, she cannot control all of Terra, cannot monitor what dangerous acts are being committed, but she still tries to help the world, even with 10,000 years of its weight bearing down on her. Due to that, she distrusts humanity and is pessimistic on their future. However, she has not stopped helping it, and her actions have saved the world more than once. And because she has lived for 10,000 years, the community decided to call her Old Well when her icon appeared next to this node's name. It was simply a skill issue. If you didn't want the moniker, you shouldn't have dropped right there. I know for a damn fact the person who made her Lowlight is disappointed in that play.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I'm over here listening to how she was amazing. She's trying to save the world. Her music playing in the background. And then suddenly, Old Well. Gosh dang it. Can we appreciate Kelsey for everything she's done?
In case you have zero clue why I just called a low brightness light a person, let me explain who Lowlight is. Long story short, they're the person who made Arknights. Lowlight, or Hai Mao, is the founder of Hypergriff and is currently the head producer of Arknights. So, long story short, yes, they are John Hypergriff. Now, the reason Lowlight is here is because, on one hand, they did make the game, but who gives a shit about that, am I right? The real reason they're here is because Lowlight is based as fuck. Let me give you an example. Someone made a deepfake video of him singing Bakamitai, and that shit became a meme. Fast forward to 4 months later, during Hypergriff's year-end party, this Chad decided to play a video on the mini-movie screen they had, and nobody could have prepared themselves for what was about to play. It was Lowlight not only mimicking the video of Bakamitai, but he was also singing it. And the memes don't stop there. Recently, someone made a post about the new event saying how they don't like the portrayal of rice crops being stepped on. They called Lowlight a royal descendant who doesn't understand the commoners' hardship. His response to that was simply, "What? I farmed before. He also got the title Pharaoh due to his love for Egyptian culture, which also resulted in a meme being born called the Pharaoh's Blessing, to only later be officially recognized when they had this art appear in a live stream. It's the meme, but his face has been replaced with a rundum. There's also the other title he has, God Hand. Let me tell you the tale of how this moniker was bestowed. On the morrow of Arknights' first anniversary livestream, there was a Wheel of Fortune. It would determine what rewards the players get, and all is naturally all. So the Wheel of Fate was spun and came to a stop. Not on all. Then the force of nature known as low light pushed it to all, giving players more rewards, which was really cool, but it does not stop there. They did similar things in the 2nd anniversary, 2.5 anniversary, 3rd anniversary, 3.5th anniversary, and due to this control of the Wheel of Fate, he has been dubbed God Hand, which is a cool ass title, but since I've read Berserk, not gonna lie, it's a little terrifying.
Yes, okay, so the God Hand in Berserk is entirely different than the God Hand here, but you know what? I appreciate it. Lowlight, the memer, the God Hand, heck yes!
That the God Hand is behind Arknights is a strange concept, but it does kind of explain why the story is so damn depressing, and helps to explain the torture of the Loud Squad. Now, to those of you who are unaware, let me tell you about the Loud Squad. You'll listen close because after this, you won't be able to hear them again.
Oh gosh!
Yep, that's basically the explanation. You're welcome. Now, Destiny is a funny one. In the past, they teased a collaboration between Arknights and Destiny 2. Then followed that news up by what you're hearing now, silence. Because the Loud Squad made you deaf. I'm thinking that we're gonna get it, it'll just take some time. Because the Monster Hunter collab took forever before some stuff was officially announced. But some people are speculating it'll never happen, because of the current situation Destiny is in, with having laid off most of their employees and following up that amazing act with the dumbest fucking statement of mankind. So some are saying Destiny may not have the resources for the collab, as I'd imagine it'll be a two-way street with how their Fortnite collab puts skins in the Eververse shop. Or it's possible that Hyperglyph may want to distance themselves because of Bungie's shitty decisions. We don't know. Anything now is basically speculation. My 2 cents is that we're gonna get it, but it's just taking a while. And when it comes to what's in the collab, it's looking like it's skins and a mini story only, but we'll have to see the particulars of it if it drops within our lifespan. Just like how we're about to see the atrocities of Layer 3, table soul sucking. So, 4 ears, let's talk about it. Now this relates to the phenomena of operators having, well, 4 ears. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it, they got both human ears and the ears of a furry's wet dream. You can mainly see this in some anime art here and there. But there's also characters like Frostleaf, Amiya's newspaper skin, and Jessica who have headphones or something similar over their human ears. Some do only have 2 ears like the Sancta and Sarkaz, but any operator with animal ears also has regular human ears. Now, why this is the case, I do not know. But I'm glad it is because the idea of a bald operator just having a head shaped like a ball with 2 animal ears... Wait. If an operator is bald, then does that remove the fluffy animal ears, or do they just look like a Sphinx cat's ears? Know what? I don't like this train of thought. I'm gonna abandon it. Let's instead talk about something wholesome, ships. So in the community, many people ship many different operators. Hell, there's so many ships out there to where you can barely see the waters. I did talk about the Saria and Silence one prior, but this is going to be more broad. Let me just go through some of the popular ones. Texas and Exia, Hoshiguma and Shen, Silver Ash and Courier, Mastama and Exia, Lapland and Project Bread and Province, Ceylon and Schwartz, yeah, that one's basically just canon, Ak and Warfarin, Sora and Texas, The One-Sided Love, Blue Poison and Glaucus, and Franco with Liskarm. Yeah. That's not even 10% of the ships I've seen from the community. The Arknights community is one of the rare cases where a community likes shipping characters with other characters more than the self-insert. Yo, FGO players can never. Let's talk about the Arknights mangas. Now, in case you haven't heard about these, by God, I'm about to give you so much reading material, because there's a lot. Road's Kitchen is about cooking, but it mainly uses that setting to just tell stories about the operators. And one of the chapters is actually the most wholesome story about Rosa learning how Zima and Gummy accept her and don't hate her, which is what I love to see from Arknights. There's many depressing stories, but getting the wholesome ones every now and then remind you that it isn't the most bleak story. There are good times. This is what I love to see. Just operators having a good time enjoying life. Now take all of what I just said and throw it out the fucking window because the Ryan Lab manga is depressing as shit. This talks about the history of Saria, Silence, and Ifrit and goes into how Ifrit was experimented on as a child to gain her powers. There's also the Black Steel manga which talks about that faction and the one about Arturia and Executor. If you want to read the official translations, the link will be in the description. Ones that are yet to be translated is the Operator manga, Angelina's, A1 which takes place in the city of Tucaranto, which is probably the closest we'll get to Canadian representation on Arknights, so fuck it, I'll take it. And there's 123 Rhodes Island, which is basically just funny short stories. Ebonhole's becoming a metalhead is still the funniest chapter from that. Deadass, he blasts the music even though he hates it because the voice in his head, which constantly berates him and calls him and his music trash, hates it even more. That shit is funny and why he's my goat. Though the chapter of Mastoma bullying Fiametta is a close second for my favorites. And let's talk about one of my favorite medics, Tea Applesauce. Now you may ask yourself, what the fuck is Blood on about? Let me explain. So on the release of Arknights, Watch Mojo made a sponsored video of the top 10 operators in the game. And when they got to Telopsis' section, her name was pronounced as...
Teoplesis.
that.
Oh, this is why you shouldn't have Watch Mojo do it. Tea Applesauce. Tea Applesauce. Oh gosh, you know better with Kiave. Listen, just because I called him Chive doesn't mean it's that bad. Damn.
Technone's reaction to the video helped popularize the meme, and the community ran with calling her Tea Applesauce, and that's what homie said. Now, I do understand his plight. Her name is deadass spelled like an old Lovecraftian god, so I can't exactly blame him. But at the same time, homie deadass said Pramanix's name like this.
Brahmanix.
Brahmanix. Honestly, this motherfucker's my goat of Watch Mojo. I ain't even gonna hold you. Now, on the topic of Tea Applesauce, let's talk about the table. So this section is... it's gonna get the video demonetized. In the past, year one of Arknights, someone made a drawing. In it, Blue Poison is given a cake to the doctor, one she made. It's really wholesome because Blue Poison says everyone is afraid of her because she can make poison, and they're especially scared of her food because they don't want the, Putin special, if you catch my drift. But the doctor accepts her and her cooking, and because of that, she makes a cake to give to him. One of the few people who is not
so
afraid of her.
sweet.
As she goes to hand the doctor the cake, she notices he's asleep and decides to just leave it there. But turns out, under the table, Tea Applesauce is there and is... in the most PG-13 way possible, sucking his...
I'm muting this portion. Okay.
nesting under the table. Or arts where Blue Poison and Tea Applesauce are, seeing who could get the closest to the doctor. For legal reasons, I don't think I could talk about this topic in any more detail, so let's move on to another one. Let's instead talk about hot dogs, no innuendo intended.
Wait. Why? What happens if the doctor is a girl? What about me? That doesn't work. You know, I'm not a character. I didn't go, doctor. No, I am the doctor.
So hot dogs are people...
This only got well known because it was posted on the official Reddit account. And there's good art of female doctors as well, don't worry. All right, we're moving on. Forget it.
Trail, in which she says that they got that name because hot-ass paros were the ones selling them. And you may question as to why this is fairly low despite the fact it's set in the early chapters of a recent event, but to that I say, I know for a damn fact nobody actually reads the story. Yo, thank the heavens Frostbite exists. Without him, half the fandom will think Anduin deserves to be forgiven. Let's talk about Pure Stream. She's an operator who released a while back, but on her release, the only way to get her was by buying the Wildlife Pack. It was $1 and give you Pure Stream with one Origini Prime. They did clarify that she'd later be added to the recruitment pool, but for a couple of months you could only get her from that pack, which was a collaboration with the World Wildlife Fund, an organization that helps and conserves endangered species. And the funds that went to that pack were sent to the WWF so players could donate to charity in-game and also get a complimentary dolphin. And naturally, since your boy cares about the environment, I bought the pack as well. Also, because Pure Stream is essential to one of the best base combinations in game, but I will still claim that 51% of my purchase was for the sake of the world. After all, I hate seeing species going extinct. Oh hey, there's Passenger. The operator that is based on the passenger bird, which went extinct on September 1st, 1914. And Passenger's birthday is... oh, well, that's depressing. Let's talk about something fun instead. So on release, Passenger was completely fucking dog shit. Deadass, one of the worst units in the game, and everyone shit talked him. Now this man did not go the way of the passenger pigeon after all that shit talk. Nah, instead, he won. Let me tell you of the tale of Passenger, not the dead ones, the Arknights one. Since he was utter unusable trash on his release, Hypergriff buffed him. Well, more particularly, they buffed his class, Chaincasters, as they all, ate more ass than Riley Reid. That buff was the equivalent to dropping a twig in a wood chipper. It gave nothing. And the CN community went wild in a damn funny way. They made an entire copypasta about him being God, and the reason he never killed wasn't because he was ass, it was because he was too kind. By the way, Lowlight saw this shit and promoted the memes. But guess what? It don't stop there. On national TV, this high school student, nay, this Chad, deadass said to buff Passenger. So because of all the memes, because this Chad decided to speak the truth, and because Passenger was by far the worst 6-star in the game, they decided to buff him. Again. And so they made Godsinger real. And the buffs didn't stop there because they dropped a fire module for him. I know modules are meant to be a power increase, but I'm gonna call it a buff because it feels like there's a 50-50 between getting something like Ling's module, which is the greatest buff imaginable, and something like Dusk's mod X, which is honestly just an insult. And that is how Hyperglyph made Godsinger real. Honestly, he's strong enough to be a Beastmaster. Now, in case you don't know what that is, Beastmasters are talking animals. Yep.
All right. So he's Godsinger. He's God. He won. All right, Passenger. We salute you.
I'm making that one up. The Emperor is literally a talking Emperor Penguin. The Beastmasters are all immortal and have existed since time immemorial. The Beastmasters we know now are the Emperor, High Priest, Gawain, the Signor de Lupe, Amma, and Dolly. Yeah, that last one feels a little out of place. I mean, not as out of place as the Duck and Duck Lord. Since they have lived for as long as time existed, they all decided to do different things in the world. High Priest spends their time in Sargon making technology. Signor de Lupe is the pack of wolves that fight each other to deem who the Alpha is. But because they cannot kill each other, they instead appoint Fangs, humans, to fight in their stead. They need to kill all the other Fangs and that wolf is deemed the winner. In fact, Project Red is one of these Fangs. And then there's the Emperor, who makes sick-ass rap music. Like, I ain't even gonna hold you, this motherfucker knows how to spit some shit. The Emperor is easily the coolest Beastmaster, bro. Just look at him holding his piece surrounded by the wolves. This motherfucker is my goat, bias to Penguin logistics aside. The Emperor is one of the best things to come out of Arknights, it's not even close. Though, someone who's almost as cool as the Emperor is Asta. And in case you do not know why the community glazes him, well, it's due to Arknights' legendary translations, in which he translated his entire operator description to simply Asta. Nothing more, nothing less. His name is all you need to know to understand how much of a Chad he is. It's changed now, but honestly I don't think there was anything to fix. It was honestly perfect. My man became a meme due to his Chad energy. And on the topic of memes, let's cover the copypastas. So there exist many different ones that, for the sake of this iceberg and at the
oh gosh.
cost of my sanity, I decided to look up. Thing is though, I don't know if I could really even show this on YouTube. For a rundown, there's a Massimo one in which they're all
Wait. Oh no. Wait, this is the one that's like Aldous and Limbus company. Oh
almost as down bad for her as I am for FGF. One about how sex with Weedy isn't gay. Don't question it. The Vaporeon one, but with Spectre as the focal point. The Tallulah one, and an honorable mention of how Thorns throws his sperm for his ranged attacks.
What?
And no, I am not describing that one. I refuse. This iceberg was a mistake. Yeah, that's all for the copypasta section. If you want to see more, you can easily look it up. I need not stain my eyes more than they have been, and we will never talk about these copypastas again. Let's instead talk about attack canceling, alright? It's a very niche.
Alright, y'all. I need a minute to breathe. To just... Everything's okay.
Tech you can use that stops your character from attacking. The way to do it is to use a skill that cannot be used right before you attack. That will cause the operator to stop their normal attack.
Also,
the best use of this that I saw was
why
a
did I
strat for a
decide to
high-risk
read
in
that?
CC9
I
which
thought it would be
advised the attack
funny,
canceling,
not
so she didn't hurt
that.
the enemies that essentially have thorns. I just remember the thorns copypasta. Anyway, that's a thing that can happen. It's pretty cool, but doesn't have too many uses, kind of like the multiplayer in the game. So far in the past of Arknights, they decided to make a multiplayer event. It's where you and another player took 2 floors of a building and had to stop the enemies. They would spawn at the top and the bottom, and the ones at the top try to take the stairs to get to the lower floor, where the blue box is. And the top player is meant to stop them from that, to make it easier on the bottom player. Thing is, some people decided making it impossible to stop the enemies would have been funnier. And they were correct. This shit is hilarious. The multiplayer event was really fun when it was launching. Hope they could bring it back in the future. future. I mean, I'm mainly hoping that because I played it in a way that actually helped the other player, and if they brought it back, I would 1000% troll the other player. But we don't need to go into the details of that. Details we should go into though is Crown Slayer bullying. Now, this is one of my personal favorites, right? So take this boss, Crown Slayer. She was an early game boss and was fairly difficult as she had a move to teleport past operators. However, every bit of difficulty within basically any encounter with her was nullified when people found out she has no resistance to being pushed or pulled by specialists. This Monarchy came on in and popularized the bully squad by treating Crown Slayer like she was a yo-yo and the doctor was planning out the sickest tricks. Now this bullying went a step further when Hypergriff decided to remake her boss stage, but instead of using roadblocks to stop her, they just put a hole down for her to go the way of Kevin. Unless we even talk about the new levels of Crown Slayer bullying that happened after Shu was released, Homie isn't having the best time as of right now. And this isn't how much story-wise either, because she got her mentor killed by Project Bread and Siro Kusano, and then had Project Bread run her pockets. And let's we even talk about how in the main story in anime, Kelshi whooped her ass with the most bored expression on her face, even needing to stop Monster from turning her into a shadow. In gameplay, anime, and the story, she has been bullied in every single adaptation. Hell, if a live action was made, the person who gets casted for Crown Slayer is probably going to be sweating bullets, as they know they are not in for a fun time. What'll happen to them is going to be live streamed on Zero Sanity memes. Now, there's two descriptions I could use to detail what Zero Sanity memes is. The first is that it's the meme subreddit for Arknights, where people post out
Leave
funny
Crown
videos
Slayer
and
alone.
pictures,
She
etc.,
did nothing
etc. You know how
wrong.
memes work. The other descriptor is that it's an affront to God. At times, most times that is, it lives up to its name of Zero Sanity. Within that realm of tragedy and insane doctors, there exists no law. Damn near everything is posted. Horny posting, more horny posting, even more horny posting, and somehow, yet even more horny posting. And there's a fucking tag called Kataoka-san posting. What the fuck is that meant to be? You know, I'm sorry to say, but if you didn't know of this place prior, then please run now while you can. Curiosity killed the cat, don't increase its KD ratio. Instead of that, let's just move on to Layer 4, Suzu's Cult. First thing on it, Scamfer and Kukikaze pulls, let's talk about it. You see, Viper is a gacha game YouTuber who primarily makes content on Arknights. Talking about the community, the game, etc, etc, yeah, that's not what I'm here for. Nah, I'm here to talk about their Dr. Jekyll side, Scamfer. That is a moniker that relates to the paranormal phenomena of them taking, shaping, and molding the most dog shit RNG imaginable. They do viewer polls where they log into the account of a viewer and roll for them on a banner. Thing is, a lot of the times, like 90% of them, it results in permanent account damage. Against all odds, consistently defying probabilities set out by mathematicians, the rolls find a way to prove that rate up is a lie. Shit, them rolls basically taking a page out of Nexon's book. And due to this, the name Scamfer was not given to Viper. No, it was earned. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Kukikaze can take 3 pulls, a missing shoe, a chewed up gum wrapper, and somehow get pot 6 on half the cast. Truly, I do not know the Ouroboros method they have in store, yet there is definitely some binding vow between the two of them. For every account Viper crushes, that's another one saved for Kukikaze. We deadass got the heaven or hell you could put your account through, and it's hilarious. Yo, deadass, 2 sides of the same coin, much like Province and Scavenger. Now when it comes to this shit, but
Poor Viper, oh my gosh. Hi Mythic, welcome. Kaza-Kasada is something we don't want to talk about. What is No, you know what? Never mind. Just move on.
Bring it up in the ship section as it goes
watching.
a little deeper. That is to say, it's kinda official. In Scavenger's profile, there are 2 pretty interesting archives to look at. One tells the story of how she loved this girl from her home village, but was then thrown out due to her being infected. And once she met her love again, she was already dead. Yeah, that shit is kinda depressing, but what I want to focus on is the fact that she likes women. She's the first confirmed LGBT plus character in Arknights. And in another archive of her file, well, easiest way to put it is, do you know how gay Moby Dick is? Like, imagine that, but with women instead. Wait, that's just Canto 5. But yes, this archive shows she has feelings towards Province. And what's more is that the official artist for Province made art that's kinda, sorta, entirely shipping the two of them. Now, it's not like 1,000,000% confirmed, you know, they haven't been roommates for 10 years now, but like, come on, dog, this shit is more obvious about being gay than I am about being bisexual. Let's talk about the king of controversies, Summer. The reason I say that is because damn near half of Arknights' controversies have all taken place in Summer. At first, it started out small. To get materials from Obsidian Festival, players had to do stages, get currency, to then buy a token to do a different stage, and use what they got from that to then buy materials. So it was way too convoluted, but nothing terribly egregious. Not that many people were mad, but they were a little annoyed. Then next summer came around. In it, they did a rerun of the prior summer event, Heart of Surging Flame, and Hypergriff decided to make a new banner of thorns. Thing is though, since it was a rerun, anyone who played the event prior was unable to get any more Origini Prime, which meant less rolls but also no way to get new skins for free. As in other events, you can complete the stages, get the Prime, then buy a skin for free. But in this one, older players couldn't do that. Add that to the fact that back then, Thorns was probably top 5, easily top 10 operators in the game, and yeah, it's understandable to be pissed. As a response, Hypergriff said they will never introduce a new banner on any reruns. And 3 years later, they've stuck with that. No rerun has had a new banner. Even though it seems like some were meant for a rerun, like Suitor being in Granny's event and Cheeto being in a Coda Brawl rerun. They also decided to rerun Thorns' banner and Unetix's banner after her event, so players could get Prime from that and another chance to roll Thorns. Or use that Prime to buy the skins that dropped during Thorns' banner because they were also being rerun. And finally, they gave players a free 10 pull as well. All of that calmed down the shitstorm that was the first and only instance of a new banner on a rerun event. But that is nothing compared to how the community reacted when Summer Chen released. By God, that was hell.
Oh no.
You see, at the time, Arknights never had a limited summer unit before. We had Chinese New Year limiteds like Neon and anniversary limiteds like W and whatever half anniversary ones as well. This made it so there was 2 pools for limiteds with them running 3 limited banners a year. Then they came in with the limited summer pool and people weren't the most happy, as that was now 4 limiteds a year when prior, at launch, there were 0. So that's where the controversy started. The oxygen for the fire was the fact that she was top 3 strongest units in the game, arguably at the time top 1. The gasoline for it was the fact that she looked like another operator, Blaze. The propane was how people felt that the altar was random and not story-based at all. Most people felt that Summer Chen was just a lazy alternate form of a popular character, as in the event she kinda just pulled up a water gun out of nowhere, so it didn't feel as lore deep as something like Sculptor was. And the sprinkles on top was how the character sharing the raid up, Mizuki, was kinda dog shit at the time. This caused players to feel like Summer Chen was a cash grab. Make a new limited banner out of nowhere, make her broken as fuck, make an alternate form of a beloved character whilst not having the strongest basis for an alter form, and have her look like Blaze. And have the alter form be based on her outfit from Heart of Surging Flame that everyone wanted as a skin. And then just remove it in her E2 in favor of some really mid-drip. This controversy had CN players make a list of 15 demands for Hypergriff. No limited summer banner, no poorly explained alters, decreasing the spark from 300 to 120. They should do this shit, by the way. Cancel the limited banner and
One moment, y'all. Hello, Michael. Welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you for the raid. Thank you so much for raiding. Hello, hello. How was your stream? Welcome, welcome. Hi. Guys, please check out Maiko. Maiko does, I think, Genshin and politics there. Well, I don't do any of that, so please consider that. Legit most hated Shelter's E2 art. Do I have raid music for this? Here, we'll just do this real quick.
Memories, you are all we need. We made it through catastrophes, through calamities. You are all we need.
Okay, alright. So that's it. How's the prettiest redhead on YouTube? Oh, that's so sweet. I'm doing great. I hope you're doing well. We're just watching the ultimate Arknights Iceberg. That's all we're doing. Thank you. Thank you guys for all the compliments. Hello and welcome. It's a very funny video made by what's it called? Oh gosh, Sunil. Sunil, I'm so sorry. I just forgot your name for a moment, but I promise I remember it now. But yes, thank you for dropping in. I don't want to keep it too long because I know there's so much to get through here. But I greatly appreciate you guys. Check out Maiko if you would like. Please do. Okay, let's jump back in. But wait, so Chalter, I know I was going to take a break here to talk about Chalter briefly. I mean, like, I didn't realize there was that much controversy that came behind her, but I understand where it comes from now.
and make it solo Mizuki, Doc, this one would have caused way more controversies if they did that. Change the E2 art, which they did and made her look less like Blaze. Change all the old character arts in the game. That demand is whack as hell and I don't really gotta explain why. Explain why it looks like this Ami art is plagiarizing from this company. Demanded the lead artist to explain the issues about their art and the issues in the art book. Change a store package that gave players less in it than what it gave in a previous limited event. Understandable, and they did end up giving more for that package. Explain where Pink Doggo, Golden Glow, is. Promise the new module system is free to play. Hypergriff said it was.
Okay, alright. Whoa! I paused it on the perfect moment. I'm so sorry, you guys. Not just this, there were multiple failures in CN side back then. Okay. Yes, so a quick summary of what we're seeing. So this is a video made by a YouTuber called Sunil here, who makes Arknights videos, and Limbus company, I believe. And basically, they made this thing to summarize a bunch of different memes in Arknights. And this one is... This video is basically supposed to... Guys, I'm trying to explain something. Guys! I'm trying to... Please. Guys! I'm trying to explain something. Oh my gosh! And I didn't even mean to. It was accidental. Look. Okay. We're just gonna quickly get through this so I can continue. Oh my gosh. Please. Okay. So anyways, what we're doing is we're just trying to watch this video. It's supposed to be a meme Arknights video. Oh, guys, please. It's a meme video with it basically summarizes the entire history of the Arknights community, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm okay. Ooh. Okay, we're moving on. It was an accident.
Due to this event, so they thought it wouldn't be. Turns out the module system was completely free-to-play friendly, but at the time, players had no way of knowing. Proofread all future and past dialogue. I disagree at this point. I say proofread less. It's funnier that way. Make event timings planned out better so there isn't rerun after rerun, as stuff like that is really boring for older players. And prior to this banner, there was a 2-month period of nothing new, except for Vigilio. Make new story chapters come up faster, and finally tell us if there will be new roguelike game modes and if they'll be permanent. Hindsight 2020, we got up to 3 at the same time and all are permanent. So yes, that is the list of demands and goes to show how nuclear Summer Chen was. Some of them were addressed, others were valid and I completely agree, and some were just people throwing needless hate on the head artist for Arknights, and I personally cannot get behind that. Though it goes to show how that was probably one of the lowest points for Arknights. Thankfully, the next summer event, My Ideal City, didn't really have any noticeable controversy around it. But So Long Adele had some people complain that there are too many alternate forms of operators, and I agree, as there are some I would love to see taken out of NPC jail, like Lemuin, Ascalon, Lemuin, Logos, Lemuin, Closer, Lemuin, Opian, Lemuin, Mechanist, Misery, that Lemuin is not an operator. Okay, I got a bit of a bias. Aside from me spitting facts, out of 4 summer events, 3 have had controversies with them. I don't know what this summer-based curse is, but my god is it funny as hell. Straight up, the next summer event feels like a 50-50 chance between being normal or another shit show. We'll have to see. It's a curse, much like the curse Exia has. Yeah, it's time. Time to talk about the extra dojins. And due to how the subject matter is, I'm a deadbeat showing cute pictures of cats because showing what I'm talking about will traumatize all of you.
Oh,
As a
gosh.
disclaimer, I'm not sad about hi.
Whew. Alright, here we go in carefully. About this, because the cats and stuff like that. Let's see. As long as Hayami doesn't react like forcing. This whole stream is the detrimental reaction content I dislike, essentially just ripping it. And Hayami at least asked for permission. Didn't you say ask for forgiveness instead of permission? I'm not sure. I'd rather see Lynn's feet rather than this.
This isn't the iceberg. No, I'm fucking despairing that it should be higher. Deadass, this deserves to probably be in the 2nd layer, but your boy wants to represent the community a little well. When I was making the iceberg, I wanted to put it in the lowest tier, but everyone said that shit deserves to be higher. And I get it. I know. Dear God, trust me. I know. But please, let's just pretend, pretend, that not everyone knows of this accursed knowledge, alright? So with that being said, to those of you who have no clue about the Exia Dojins, which is like 99% of the community, totally, Let me explain. Now the best way to explain this without having YouTube kill me is with math. So there are 23 extra dojins on that one site starting with an N. 11 of those are not safe for life, damn near half. The other half of those dojins ain't exactly the peachiest, but by comparison they're as pure as Jesus. The only tag most of the not safe for life ones share that I could say out loud would be Riona. In case you don't know what that is, it involves violence. I won't say any more, but I will say that Riona is not the worst tag on those dojins. Thing is, most
Aren't
of those
these just
dojins
supposed to
were
be
created by an
Korean
artist
fan
called
comics?
Kato-Okasan. And real quick, do not harass them. I bring them up for the sake of the iceberg, but I do not wish to see people harass that artist. People have done that in the past and it's fucked up. It's fine to not like their work, but I don't believe people should give them death threats over it. Now, they're the one who's drawn most of the, fucking spicy, like a goddamn Carolina Reaper, extra art, and due to that, whenever she is brought up, like a fucking Amber Alert, someone will be there to bring up Kato-Okasan. For better or for worse, their arts are known by most. But the curse of Arknights dojins don't stop there. There's one of Chen and Aya getting an autopsy. Nothing actually sexual, literally just an autopsy. And also one about Snow Saint not exactly having the greatest time. With that depressing shit done, let's move on to something equally as ass
What
Beagle's
the
death.
heck
And whose
is
real
this?
dust showed Cruz a dream, something contained within her paintings. And in that dream, it was alluded
Oh
to
my
that
gosh. Oh my gosh. Why would people make stuff like that? Why? Why would you do this? Why would you do this? I said it's easier for reactors to. Oh, fridge. Okay, I'll please set a reminder for me to message Sunil after this. I will have to get in contact in some capacity. Let's see. Dojins are fan comics moster. Oh.
that Beagle died. See, she went to Bolivar, her hometown.
Okay,
And in
we're just
Bolivar,
gonna
there's
move
a
on.
war
We're
going
moving on
between
very
three
quickly.
factions vying for control over the country. And during her participation in the war, she died. However, that's just a bad dream Dust showed Cruz. It's not fully reality, right? Well, it goes a little deeper. Beagle has a bloodline of combat skin, one that is taken right before she participates in the war, which ominously says the outfit worn by elite operator Beagle, serving as the rear guard during the Great March of Bolivar. This is her final test, which gives more evidence that something may have happened in Bolivar, especially when you know the meaning behind the bloodline of combat skins. But again, it's just a dream of the future, something that can happen but can also be avoided. After all, we saw Mr. Nothing get assassinated, but by joining Rhodes Island, he was able to escape that fate. But when Cruz had her dream, she saw Beagle, and the first emotion she felt was disbelief. She was very distant from Beagle, as if knowing that just by seeing her there, something is wrong. Later, the two go their separate ways and say goodbye. Then Cruz hears, "See you. We'll meet again." You know that's not how things will end. What you will face on the path ahead will be far worse. Then it cuts to a different point in time, the Bolivar operation. In that painting, the emergency comms stopped working and Cruz decided to run to where Beagle was. And upon getting to her location, she says, "Beagle? Are you sure it's her?" "No way. How come?" And here's this response. We'll have a detailed report later on. And, well, Cruz, we probably shouldn't get too involved in this mess. If Bolivar is really this complicated, there's nothing we can do for her. With Cruz saying, "No, I should have stopped her. I should have stopped her. Whatever it took, And as even more evidence that she died, Law of the Purgatory's operator record talks about the blank incident in which she became a full-grown adult in the span of a night. And the blank incident probably refers to Bolivar. This is the evidence that Beagle dies in the future, but counter-evidence is what Neon says after saving her. All she did was draw the rest of your lives out in the painting and let them play out again from the beginning. That's all fake anyway. Couldn't you have picked a better ending? In the main storyline's timeline, so currently in Victoria, we have yet to see Beagle die. It may be completely confirmed in the future of the main story, maybe in a Bolivar-related event, but as of now, we do not have a fully confirmed death scene for Beagle, just a lot of evidence that something will happen to her. However, we do have a fully confirmed death scene for Kayla. It was in one of the endings of her integrated strategies, Fungus, in which she died with the cause more than likely being the copious amounts of shrooms she consumed. Yep, Fungus is literally just Kaobe's drug trip through Sargon after she ate some wild shrooms. Thankfully though, that ending is not canon and instead Kaobe just had a really fun time. What is canon though is Hordier being an Idol fan. That's right, this beefcake of a man with extra cake is secretly an otaku. He is not only the biggest fan, but the biggest simp of You Official. Long story short, she's a streamer, and in the most recent April Fool's event, you managed her live stream. And as we were doing that, we figured out the account name for her editor is One-Eyed Spy. And when you take a look at Discount Guts over there, then yeah, the name adds up a little. Now apparently, I say apparently as we're yet to get this event on global, But these are apparently some of the messages he sent out in chat. Now, I want you to read this and imagine Hordier's deep fucking Mariana Trench ass voice saying this shit out loud. It is easily one of the best things to come out of Arknights. As a result of his simply, two things happened. One, players took it as confirmation that he was going to survive the current story arc because people were not 1000% sure on that being the case. Two, immense amounts of art started being made with him being an idol fan. Fanboying, getting hyped for his stream, having a body pillow, you name it and it has been made. It feels like the entire Arknights community banded together to show this man as a fanboy in all of his forms. And it is beautiful. The only other time I saw such connection within the community was for Platinum's faceplant. A bit more than a year ago on Japanese TV, Hitomi Honda, an idol, Hordier's probably a fan, was cosplaying Platinum and had to use an ab roller while a man wearing a muscle suit commented on it with people reacting to it on face cam. Now, as to why that is the case, there is only one answer. It's Japanese TV. And as the cosplayer tried to use the ab roller, they heroically face planted on the ground. And the entire Arknights community saw this shit. Within what felt like 0.2 nanoseconds, artists came out with 5 million different works showing her having face planted. It felt like for a brief moment, technology advanced to where people could immediately draw and upload the image they were thinking about. Everyone drew her face planting and that became associated with Platinum. The memes died down now, but the memories about it will never fade away. Just like how Platinum will never have a six-pack, or how Hypergriff will seemingly never decide to take an easy-ass bag. Let me explain what I mean by this point. So there exists an infinite amount of moments where Hypergriff can do something very simple and just print money. What are those, you may ask? Giving us Maid Kelshi or Butler Kelshi, preferably Butler Kelshi, making any of the Ambiance Synthesia outfits into in-game skins, giving us the Angelina and Masuma sportswear outfits, giving us this extra outfit that I don't even remember where it's from, but I have it saved as a screenshot on my 6-year-old phone because I am the most insane extra simp. Point is, there are a multitude of different sprites which already exist that if made into skins will have everyone throw money at the screen. Yet for whatever ungodly reason, Hypergriff refuses to do it. I do not know why they haven't, but not making Kelshi Butler drip into a skin is the greatest form of financial sabotage. We already got the sprite, dog. You don't need to add anything else to it. We'll buy it from the store in that form, goddammit. Them not making the easiest financial choices is almost as whack as Suzerain having a cult. Now, I'm not talking about the cult. Nah, I'm talking about an official in-game one. In Suzerain's operator file, you can see a paragraph rivaling the length of this video being used to detail every action Suzerain takes in a day. And at the end of it, they say, Miss Suzerain is our light. And to not let her meet Lapland, that one's a smart decision. But the operator record showed us how a cult exists who calls Suzerain our light, which has caused many artworks to use that term in a literal way, as in Light Bulb Suzerain edition. And also for people to sob and say, our light, whenever she briefly appears in a live stream. Yep, one of those is a little more wholesome than the other. The other is about as wholesome as Inez's history. So this is Inez. You may look at her and think two things, damn them thighs. Also, she's a Sarkos. Thing is though, she isn't a Sarkos, she's a Cabernet. In her E2 art, you can see Ebenholz's ancestor, and in Dark Knight's Memoir, they talk about her shaving her horns to look more Sarkos. Thing is though, with her being a Cabernet, she should have ears that show that. I mean, look at Eben and Aya, they both got goat ears. In fact, we don't even see a tail. This has caused people to think she either hides her ears under her horns or has, you know, sukined them. Like, slice, dismantle. Okay, she cut her ears off is the theory. Tail is a maybe, but I feel as though that's easy enough to hide. I mean, as long as she wasn't really taking back shots from Hordier, there was probably no reason to. Though her reasons for appearing like a Sarkos become apparent in her operator file, where she hands an orphan Lethanian boy in Kazdel a file and says, only a Sarkos can survive in Kazdel. And Ines later says the only difference between her and that boy is that she survived afterwards. So it's likely something similar happened to her. Now, if she did cut off her ears, or if she is a Cabernet that just doesn't have noticeable ears, I couldn't tell you. But I can tell you that she had to pass off as a Sarkos. Even now, she still doesn't disclose her race to Rhodes Island. Just like how Cruz never disclosed her eyes either. In her base form and altar, she dead held the look of Brock, never opening her eyes. Why? Because if she did, God Cruz would be awakened and bring calamity upon Terra. And also because she's sleepy as hell. But in an art book, we finally got to see her open her eyes, and they're green. Now, what you will do with that knowledge, I don't really know.
That's so cute! Kokodayo! Kokodayo!
Much like I don't know what you'll do with the knowledge that smart toilets are real. And Undertide, Scotty laments being on the land instead of Aegir for many reasons, one of which being the lack of automatic toilets. And I won't even cap, that's a damn good reason to not like Terra. But Aegir has way more advanced technology than any other nation on Terra, which is why they're able to make abyss hunters and also have bidets. Hell, their technology is so advanced that I'm halfway sure the leakers got it and are using it to show us which operators are coming next. Granted, at times it isn't exactly the hardest to do, as Arknights has a really funny history with leaks, such as basically any limited operator having their advertisement put up a bit before they release, with only a thin sheet of onion paper being used to cover it up. Cause yes, no one thinks this is Arturia. At all. Hell, even a general outline for the story of her event was leaked. You know what, let's see what else has been leaked. Delphine, W's icon, Texas Altar was, and her event taking place in Siracusa, Yato Altar, and Noir Corn Altar, with their Drip Drop 2. You official being an operator, Poziomka's skin, Shu was leaked from a content creator site, there's also train advertisement details. That's right, not even the ads themselves. Now, the plans to advertise them. Hell, at this point, I'm literally just going through Arknights CN info dump, link to their Twitter in the description. They post a lot of useful info about the game and actually spoiler leaks. But this is really only a smidge of the amount of content that's been leaked. Though the most interesting link to know about is the one that talks about many operators we are still yet to get. Skip to here if you don't want to be spoiled on them. But when Arturia was leaked far in the past, 6 others were data mined as well. Phoenix, Dashin, Snowfox, Sankat, Ba, and the 7th is March. Get it? Now these sprites are friends of the game more than a year ago, but the only one we've really seen is Arturia.
Jason, it's your wife.
But something that's interesting is that Phoenix was leaked to buff Abyssal Hunters, and in Adrena's profile, she mentions an operator called Incandescence. Now it's important to note that even though the game files calls her Phoenix, that isn't what her name really is. I mean, shit, they spell it as PHX. But names in the code are different than an operator's code name. I probably could have worded that one better. Though, take Spectre. In the code, she is called Ghost, and Spectre Altar is called Ghost 2. And that was something people saw in the code which leaked us getting an alt for Spectre before she was released. So it's possible Phoenix can be Incandescence, but we'll have to see. I mean, we'll see leaks about it before she drops, but again, time will tell. And with all that being said, let's move on to Layer 5,
is
the
canon?
fake collab we deserve. For the start of Layer 5, let's begin talking about something I love, PvP and war crimes. For IS3, there was a bingo lockout done by Lungman Dragons and officially sponsored by Yostar. To enter into the bingo, you needed to clear the qualifications by doing any of these 3 challenges to make a bingo while following these rules. Based on speed, the top 8 would be selected, with each line, column, and diagonal having their own top 8. Then, past the qualifications, there was day 1 and day 2 till a winner was announced. For day 1, there were 16 tiles on a board, with each tile given its own amount of points. The first to get over half the points, or the one who has the most points when time runs out, is considered the winner. Day 2 had a similar system, but with 25 tiles instead. The matches were players speedrunning IS3 whilst achieving those challenges on the board. And at the end of it all, the winner of Bingo Lockout 2 was Dr. Yotes. And a similar challenge was done by Viper. Remember we talked about him prior, the Reaper of Arknights accounts. He made a series called Arknights Challengers, in which many players battled to see who could be the #1 spot. The rules are simple, laid out in a 16-page document, which is still shorter than this current script. Long story short, 5 stages are selected. A TL flips a coin and the winner selects the stage they want to use. The loser then gets to select the next stage until someone wins on 2 stages, with grands needing the winner to win 3 stages. Each player is able to select 5 ops to ban, and then they play to see who can complete the stage first. All in all, these 2 are really damn cool events, as it usually feels like the global side of the player base doesn't get to experiment too much with the game's challenges. Due to the fact that CN is 6 months ahead, anything like Contingency Contract or the Crack Demon that was Pinch Out are usually thoroughly explored before global gets to mess around with it. So it's nice seeing global players making their own challenges and competitions for the game. I mean shit, another example is Arknights having its own speedrun category, and even a Discord server that discusses speedrunning for the game, either sharing vids of it or tips for it. Link in the description in case you'd like to get into Arknights speedrunning. And damn, I never thought I'd be able to say that for a mobile-only gacha game, but yeah, here we are. Much like how I never expected Tupac would be canon in one. So remember when I brought up the Emperor and said how much of a chat he was? Well, he quite literally has a shirt with Tupac's face on it. Hell, it even says, well, it doesn't say his name, it says Tupac, but you get the idea. The reason why he has a shirt is very simple. The Emperor is amazing. Tupac was amazing. There need be no other reason. Another amazing thing was when Arknights was nominated for a Grammy. The 2023 Ambient Synthesizer concert was nominated and actually won the award Live Concert for Visual Media, which was amazing because it meant W actually pulled a W. Because last time her operator's song, Renegade, was nominated for Best Original Song, Video Game, and she dead lost that shit to a League song. Understandable though, League songs kinda slap. But she was able to pull the W on her second nomination. It was a beautiful moment to witness. The global players were hyped, the CN bros were celebrating collaborating with us. As a community, we were all so proud this little game we picked up 3 years ago had done something so amazing that not many games can say they've achieved. They won a Hollywood award for the concert they made to celebrate with the fans of the game. And as a reward to celebrate this historic milestone, we got a roll and a half.
Wait,
Bro,
what?
I swear to God, they've given us more due to low light sneezing in the past. What the fuck? Okay, let's talk about the fake ads instead. Now this one's actually wholesome. A Bilibili creator called Rhodes Bakery of Honey Biscuits made a full-blown fake advertisement
you
live stream for
account.
4.5. Mind you, they didn't try to fool anyone that it was an official live stream. It was fully a fun fan-made project. They came out with a PV trailer, a medal list, fan-made E2s, fan-made operators performing on stages, fucking somehow, art for the
Near
live
light.
stream,
I love
fan-made
Near
skins
Light.
that contained an outfit which
Or,
made me actually
light
want
something.
to build May, making Leslie look like even more of a badass. The best looking Annette skin that if it was just ripped one for one, I would dead spend 21 arundums on it. The casual drip Lynn and motherfucking Gilgamesh Malinar, which is live
What?
2D, and I'm like 99% sure they got someone to voice act new lines for it. The amount of time and effort put into this video is insane. And keep in mind, all of this was done days before we got the PV for 4.5, so it's not like they had a ton revealed they could work off of. I won't cover any more of it in this video though, because I want people to watch it on Bilibili. The link is in the description alongside CN Infodump's tweets about it, which link directly to the other people who worked on the project. I
That
cannot
is
fathom how much work was done to
insane.
make this a reality, but I can easily say it was one of the best Arknights related videos I've ever seen. Stand proud, Bilibili content creators, you can all cook. Meanwhile, all the channels that steal content from Bilibili can please exit the community in the quickest fashion possible. So I want to keep this iceberg wholesome. Of course, talking about serious subjects was something I wasn't gonna avoid, but at the
Holy
same time, I
heck.
don't wish to bring up drama that really leads nowhere except bitterness.
Oh,
But when
no.
it comes to people who steal and re-upload content from Bilibili on YouTube, then it does need to be brought up as it's an important topic for a serious problem. Now, in case you do not know, there exists and has existed some channels who take content from Bilibili and re-upload it for profit on YouTube without the original creator's permission. I will not name those channels as I hate witch hunts, and also do not accuse anyone of doing something like that with no proof just because they uploaded a Bilibili video. As again, some channels like Tactus ask for permission and give the revenue to the original creator. Now with that being said, let me talk about the funniest case of a channel that stole Bilibili content. So they ripped that shit, downloaded it, then hit upload on the MP4. In the description they gave some brief link to the channel on Bilibili, said they had permission, they fucking didn't, then ran ads on it and gained money from the videos that lacked even the tiniest shred of their own work or talent being put into it. Then they took this shit a step further. They decided to upload event trailers and run ads on them. Now, some creators do that like Casual Team, but the thing is, they don't run ads on them. But that channel decided to not only profit off the hard work of Bilibili creators, but they also decided to do that shit to Hypergriff, the company that makes the game. Which, yes, is incredibly dumb. I don't even think a tweaking crackhead would make that decision. But worry not, for they decided to somehow one-up that shit. They took the entirety of the first Ambient Synthesasia concert and re-uploaded that shit on YouTube before it was officially available, and even ran ads on it. Now the best part about this is, at that time, the only way to watch the video about the concert was by having a premium Bilibili account, basically YouTube Premium. Now of course you can easily watch the official upload for free now as it's been uploaded to YouTube, but back then it was a big deal. And overnight, Hypergriff really just said, imaginary technique, you're banned. And fucking eviscerated that channel, fully deserved. Out of all the examples of channels that have ripped off Bilibili creators, this is by far the funniest one. The less funny part is the amount of clones I found whilst researching this. I was gonna come on in and make a joke like, oh, I had to search past like 10 other channels that have done the same thing, yet only problem with that being, it's no longer a joke, it's a fucking understatement. Looking into it, there have been many examples of
Siddle, I'm sorry. I promise. We can talk after. I'm sorry.
channels being made that just re-upload CN creators as videos and make a profit off of it. Thankfully, the community is pulling a low-tier god and stomping out these channels, but they keep coming back despite us knowing their game because they keep smelling that syrup of the YouTube ad revenue. It's a problem. One that many people have put
I have
painstaking
ads
hours to
turned
see
off.
fixed, but will probably continue to
I turned
exist as
off
it's
it.
really easy to do and get money from. Hell, if one channel gets found out, create another in the same week. You already got the MP4s, the only thing stopping you is your upload speeds. Which is why, as a community, it's best we continue to expose the channels who have actually done wrong. Don't falsely accuse people. And kindly tell stealers to never browse the internet again. And within the spirit of having shit robbed, let's talk about what happened with DMC. When it came time for the Capcom collab announcement, when we finally had a stream to tell us just what it would be about, We waited with bated breath as they first talked about reclamation algorithm, and as they showcased the trailer for it, we heard it. The DMC5 main menu and voice play in the background. This made it.
That intern got fired that day.
DMC as prior, we only knew it as a Capcom collab. That shit could have been anything from Dead Rising to Mega Man or Resident Evil, but most, myself included, wanted DMC. And that music gave us hope for that shit to be crushed in favor of giving us a Monster Hunter collab.
Okay, wait, as a side note, do you guys think that potentially, because of that, they might consider talking about a Devil May Cry collaboration? Could you guys imagine Virgil? He basically is like he's a ranged attacker, and he's like sitting up there with his with his katana, and like his third ability is like Judgment Cut End, and just destroys everything. Oh, that'd be awesome.
There wasn't anything wrong with that. In fact, it's pretty much a beloved collab. But the music playing really just set us up for disappointment. Evidently, that shit was a mistake. It was not meant to play. I like to imagine that an employee at Hyperglyph was hyped thinking we got a DMC collab, and when they heard internally that it was just Monster Hunter, they dejectedly fired up DMC5 to practice some virtual combos, and accidentally had the menu sound play on stream. That's probably not what happened, but that headcanon helps me cope in knowing that I wasn't the only lost soul on that day. So that's what I'll say was the case. Another thing that was robbed from us was Beta Kelshi. And no, I'm not talking about the abomination that is Happy Kelshi from Enfield.
What
that
the heck
shit
is that?
Terrifying. I'm instead talking about how Kelshi was available as a unit in the beta version of the game, but on release she just disappeared until we got her during Sculpture's event, which means that it took till the end of the world before she would even allow the Doctor to command her in battle. True ex-wife energy right there. But in beta, she played much differently. Monster was still summoned for her, and she was still a medic, but Monster had ranged attacks now. In fact, that shit was AoE. Her first skill was a generic more attack, second made Monster hit slower but harder and slowed the enemy on hit. Then it was reworked to where her first skill was still an empowered hit, but it also stunned the enemy. The second skill still increased attack interval, but binded on hit with a small chance to stun. And if you ask me, by comparison to her beta form, they buffed the shit out of her. I mean, most beginning 6 stars on Arknights feel really basic when compared to the newer units, but my lord, I am glad they changed up her kit. They spent a bit longer in the kitchen with Kelshi, but they cooked for her release. Completely unlike how Old Days tried to cook by ripping off Arknights. So Old Days is this now dead NFT game, which for whatever ungodly reason, against the advice of any life form with an IQ above 2, they decided to trace Amiya's animation from chapter 8 for their dog shit games trailer. As to why they thought they could get away with that, I'll never be able to tell you, as I'm yet to do enough crack cocaine to put me in that same headspace. The funny part is, they decided to double down and say it was original and not traced, acting as if no one had fucking eyes, and then said that Arknights cannot sue them, and they won't dare to. Naturally, them bitches got hit by the Nintendo special cease and desist. Afterwards, a great silence must have enveloped their headquarters because we heard nothing from them. They basically fell off the face of the planet, and much like what happened to War of Embers. That's a game that took really heavy inspiration for Arknights, which is code for saying they just copied stages 1-to-1. I don't care to speak.
I actually tried this game out at one point. I remember they were doing something on a special for Gacha. They were like, wait a minute, so if you play this game up to this level, we will give you X amount of currency inside of a different game. So I gave this one a try, and I was like, wait, this feels just like Arknife. Why don't I just go play Arknife?
Too much on it, as I've heard no mention of this game in the past 2 years, so it must have been banished to beyond the Shadow Realm. Possibly because they apparently stole from Mobile Legends and Raid Shadow Legends as well. So my guess on its fate is that it either died from being an ass game, or those 3 companies weren't the most pleased with their work. Kinda like how the community was when we saw art blatantly trace Beanstalk skin. Actually, nah, that's an overstatement. Tracing would have been better because this shit ain't tracing. It's fucking AI art that was told to recreate Beanstalk skin. And as is the case with AI art, it looks like shit. And somehow that was promotional art uploaded by the Chinese version of Guild Wars 2. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's been taken down as stuff like copying Arknights' character design.
Guild Wars 2? I like Guild Wars 2. What? I can't believe they did this.
It happens on like a bi-monthly basis, so Hyperglyph is kinda used to this shit. Hell, just a bit ago, one company decided to copy Sari and Leslie's designs, and Hyperglyph took action against them. It happens way too often, but at the same time, imitation is the greatest form of flattery, so fuck it. At least there's a silver lining there. One situation that held no hope or silver lining at all, though, was when Platinum had her voice changed.
What?
3 years ago, the original voice actress for Platinum went to Yasukuni Shrine, and in a YouTube video of hers, she said that the shrine was a comfortable place with fresh air. just a generic compliment about a place. However, the problem is what the shrine represents. It's a shrine dedicated to 2.4 million people who died in World War II. Among those 2.4 million, 1,000 of them were convicted war criminals. And I won't talk about what those war crimes entailed, but they were war crimes for a deserved reason. And that shrine entombed bodies of Korean and Taiwanese people, which has caused even more controversy as they cannot be buried in their home soil. So by now it should be apparent what that shrine means and the controversies around it. But to most Japanese people, it's just another shrine. So it's very possible that the voice actress did not know that before going to it and just gave out a small compliment to the place, as it's the normal thing to do. And if you ask me, I'd say that she probably didn't know the history, as if she did, it would make no sense to make a statement about it on your own YouTube channel. If she knew the controversies about it, then I doubt she would upload a clip of her complimenting it. However, due to her visiting the shrine, many Chinese players were upset by that action, which sparked outrage and eventually culminated in her being fired from Arknights, Azure Lane, and Girls Front Line, with a new voice actress taking her place. In terms of my thoughts on the situation, it's terrible all around. I don't believe the voice actress had any bad intentions behind going there. I'm positive she did not fully know the history of it, but at the same time, I cannot blame anyone that was outraged, as if I was in their shoes, I wouldn't be happy either. She did apologize for the visit, but to many people the damage was already done. It's a terrible situation that no one wanted to have happen, but it did, and many people were hurt because of it. It's something that's heavily political and cannot be dumbed down to some simple gotcha game drama, though it isn't.
Much agreed. That's, of course it's like, we want to keep our voice actors and whatnot, but at the same time it's like, there's too much going on, too many moving factors. I think Suno really summarizes it well here. I don't think I have to put any comments on it. I'm sorry for any affected parties.
As I said, there really isn't any good part to this history, so let's instead lighten up the mood by talking about Sora's race. Okay, that sounds a little bit weird out loud. Take Sora's Elite 1 art. She looks like a Lupo, right? Now take her Elite 2. She's suddenly a goddess. Her summer skin brings back the Lupo ears, but somehow they grow bigger for her Circusano skin. So that begs the question, what the hell is her race? A theory in the past was that she was a Sanctum. She had illusion arts and used them to change her race based on who she was appealing to. She likes Texas, so she looks like a Lupo for her, whilst at E2 she looks like a goddess for the Doctor, as Amia, a goddess, is very close to them. And people said she was a Sanctum because Executor has a relative that is very proficient in illusion-based arts, so people thought that was Sora. 4 years later, we know that wasn't referring to Sora, but instead to Arturia. Though Sora does have proficiency in illusions from what Orchid has said, so it's possible that she might have been able to make her halo and wings invisible and then throw on Lupo ears, but at the same time, there's evidence against her being a Sanctum, like in Crota Brawl, where she asked the greatest waifu in the game, Exia, what it's like putting on a hat. If she was a Sancta and bound by the law, there would be no reason to ask that, and due to how Sancta can feel each other's emotions, Exia would immediately call her out online. So what I believe is the case is that Sora does use illusion arts to change what her race appears as. She appears as a Lupo because of her appreciation, code word for being gay as hell, towards Texas. In the past, Texas saved Sora after she was kidnapped, and because of that, Sora heavily looks up to her. It's very likely she wants to be more like her, which is why she made her ears look like a Lupo's to mimic Texas. In fact, one of her lines even says this. To me, that's basically her saying that Texas knows her ears are fake, either because when Texas saved her in the past she had different ears, or because Sora shared her reasons to appear with Lupo ears instead of her normal ones. So we know she isn't Lupo guaranteed, or else she wouldn't hide her race. But we've never seen her front as a different race, ever. Her reason for hiding her race is to appear as a Lupo because of her admiration for Texas, which is why I believe her actual race is Goddess, as we've never seen her impersonate a different race other than Lupo, and there's no goddesses she admires like Texas, so there's no reason for her to don the bun. But that's just my theory, and another Arknights related theory is the one that the sky is fake.
Theory.
I mean, okay, that's a dead lie, we know that it is,
Thanks for
but
watching.
prior to Lone Trail, there was only some stuff here and there that gave us the idea, such as Astasia's operator file having Kelshi talk about our inability to see the stars, or how it's impossible to navigate the waters via following the stars. Therefore, lighthouses are essential. And there's also a hard limit on how high an airborne vehicle can go without getting destroyed. Even the birds have an instinct telling them not to go higher. Back then, we just had little bits here and there that told us the sky was fake, but not why. That is until Lone Trail came. Skip to here if you want to avoid spoilers. Though we found out that the sky is fake due to a barrier that prevents things from coming in or going out. This barrier also warped light so people couldn't accurately observe what was beyond it, thus leading to the inability of accurately charting the stars. That is until Christine Wright blasted a hole through the fake sky, the star pod, to finally accurately observe what lies beyond Terra. And when she opened the star pod, people were able to see one of the twin moons clearly for the first time. We do not know precisely why the star pod was created. One theory is that it was made to prevent Organium from leaving Terra. Another was that it's a defensive measure to prevent the disaster from above that wiped out the ancients. We may not know why the fake sky was made yet, but I could say that it was amazing seeing the truth of the sky be revealed in Lone Trail. Because for 3 years, we always had little bits of knowledge to tell us about it, but nothing confirming how it was fake. So seeing it be revealed felt like the culmination of various bits of lore in Arknights, all paying off at once. And other bits of lore I really love are the Bloodline of Combat skins. They're a sort of brand of clothing, not necessarily like courteous, which is swimsuits, or a poke, which is some of the most fire shit ever. It is instead clothing made by Rhodes Island for war crimes.
Alright, so it's a huge spoiler that Lone Trail was that. So the sky is fake, and there are 2 planets out there. No way. Or 2 moons. No heckin' way. That's crazy.
I mean, it was made to suit the operators as best as possible. The Bloodline of Combat skins is gear that is best for an operator, and it has a specific meaning behind it, showing an operator at the pinnacle of their strength. For Angelina, it's when she is able to warp reality between her fingers. For Beagle, it is before her march in Bolivar, when as a soldier, she has gotten the strongest. Helliger shows his time in the Blood Peak campaign with his best friend behind him. Skydes is when Ashara Mallah takes over her body, and Gladius is right before she leads the charge to take her homeland back from the Seaborn. And this is why Bloodline of Combat is my favorite set of skins. It is raw as fuck. Now the most important takeaway is the fact that Exia is yet to get her bloodline skin, which means that Exia Alter is a guaranteed thing that will happen in the future, and I am not huffing stray copium. Much like how many simps were huffing copium when people were talking about Mudrock X Logos. So this ship is hilarious. It became a thing when we saw Logos save Mudrock from Lethania casters. He was in the area, saw her squad getting hunted, and decided to save them and bring them to Rhodes Island. He saved her life, which caused many people to ship the 2 of them, as whenever it comes to fiction, simply exchanging pleasantries is enough of a foundation to write the raunchiest 40-page sex scene. Now, thing is, some Mudrock simps went the way of FGO players and weren't the most happy about the ship. When I mean some, it was really a negligible amount, but it was still really fucking funny. However, here's my advice to any of you who are going the way of that one Limbus company reviewer: touch grass. But also, remember Sigma Rule 99. If Mudrock loves Logos and you cannot handle that, then you take the Sigma route. You fuck Logos too. From there, you got 2 birds with 1 stone. There's no need to complicate matters. This is simple math. And with that sage wisdom, let's move to layer 6, Dorothy's Conspiracy. Okay. You see, Arknights Global has a history of choosing events like how I choose which drug I take before writing a video. That is to say, it includes a bottle of bourbon and a dartboard. Because of this, the event list we see from CN's side is more of a very loose guideline to whatever the hell they plan to do on Global. At times, we make an event or 2 later than what was planned, but even with that being said, nothing could have prepared us for the Dorothy psyop that was about to happen. Here's the event list for CN. CC9, Undertides, 2 gay German goats, and then Dorothy's Vision. Here's how it was for Global. Undertides, CC9, Yaoi and Lethania, Ideal City for whatever reason, fucking Trails for Navigators, CC10, To Be Continued, The Solace Goddamn Holiday, and finally, 2 months after when it was supposed to happen, Dorothy's Vision. That shit was meant to drop mid-January if we followed CN's schedule, but it dropped mid-March. Now you may question to yourself, why the hell did they do that? Well, that's where the Dorothy Conspiracy comes in. Now some fools speculated it was so events didn't overlap, so Global had its anniversary on time, or maybe because the Rhinelab manga hadn't been fully translated yet, but no one could have prepared them for the truth. The truth was that Yostar believed Dorothy's banner wouldn't pull in that many rolls. They thought interest was low, so they would hold her event back for 2 months to make people desperately wish to pull her, because God only knows what the hell they were planning for the delay of her rerun. The interest in the rat was low, but by making people question, where at? For 2 months, they drove interest in her event sky high. People were making memes, art of her being held in event jail. The plan was working. And when her banner dropped for Global, they got the entire budget for Parrish and Frost. Or not, because evidently the revenue they got in that month didn't change at all. Regardless, I would choose to believe that the Dorothy...
You're kidding me. That they pulled a move to get Dorothy boo-fooed up?
Conspiracy was a plan set in motion by Lowlight himself.
You gotta be kidding me.
Because it's funny. Now let's look at something Dorothy could never dream of doing, coming early. You know, I am so sorry, Dorothy Sims. I did not mean to assassinate you like that. When Invitation of Line
Oh,
dropped
it's a
in Global, for whatever
conspiracy.
reason, Yostar added in the data for Golden Globe before her actual event that would take place afterwards, a light spark in the darkness. Could've chose a shorter name, Pink Doc. And due to that, you were able to get her as a temporary recruitment in IS-2, but it was impossible to roll her as she wasn't added to the standard banner yet, nor was her banner up. If you want a reason behind why she was added early, I think I got one. Nami's immense love for Golden Globe manifested ego, and due to that, we got her early in Global. I say that with no factual foundation, but my god, does it sound a lot more hype than saying Yostar did an oopsie whoopsie. Therefore, that's what happened. One thing that was an oopsie whoopsie though is kinda how they nerfed Enforcer on Global. His module was dropped during the Monster Hunter collab, alongside all the other pusher modules. Thing is, to unlock his module, you had to do the first EX stage of God Ahead. Thing is, the rerun was released prior to the Monster Hunter event on the CN server, but for Global, that shit was run after the Monster Hunter event. So for about 2 weeks, we had his module in the game, but it was impossible to unlock it because we need to do the first Guide Ahead EX stage that would only be available permanently when the rerun dropped. And so, that beautiful twink was nerfed by the nefarious Yostar schedule. Thankfully though, it didn't change much because his module was kinda dog shit. Most people were happy with getting Balance, a physical edition early anyway. And on that note, let's talk about how Monster Hunter was teased. There were 2 instances of it. First was in Monster Hunter Sunbreak, we saw the Rhodes Island symbol being used. Next was in Kiara's skin, we saw her playing Monster Hunter. And despite me knowing this, I still held out hope that it was some unrelated bullshit and we were getting DMC. Which, yeah, honestly, yeah, I probably set myself up for that. Which on one hand, may be dumb as
Wait a
shit, but on the
minute.
other hand, I'm still kind of holding out hope we're gonna get a DMC collab in the future.
I don't think
now,
it's
another thing I
happening,
hope we get a collaboration of
unfortunately.
in the future is from Michael Jackson due to Jessica's moonwalk. So this was a bug in which you hoed over Jessica more than the story has. To do it, here's what you needed. You had to get Jessica one shot. From there, like a cop, you had to plant weed. I mean, place down Weedy and prep her S3
Wait.
to hit with her turret. Then
Wait, hang on,
activate her
what?
S3 and right before it hits, kill Jessica. This will cause his ass to go flying, even off the goddamn map. From there, homie's in the goddamn shadow dimension. Give it a
He just slid backwards like he was on ice. The moonwalk. I get
he
it.
will
I
return
get it.
somehow. But before that, if you got a character with global range, even though he may be in a pocket dimension, you can still pop him. So if you had some trouble on him, you could have pulled out this strat. Could have, because the bug was fixed rather quickly, but I'll be damned if it wasn't funny to do. It was also fun to see Hypergriff sneak in a Daft Punk reference. This plaque from Heart of Surging Flames is a reference. It shows the helmets and references get
Oh,
lucky. But Heart of
get
Surging Flames
unlucky.
didn't stop there with the references. It also referenced Queen and its
Daft Punk.
stage names. Killer Queen, Break Free, Don't Stop Me Now, hell, that ain't even it for all the stage name references that exist. Lingering Echoes of stage names reference a shit ton of classical music, and So Long Adele references nursery rhymes, which is a funny dichotomy because we got Eben, the emo goat who only listens to classical masterpieces, and then AF Fialo, the wholesome happy goat who falls asleep listening to nursery
I
rhymes.
love that. I
Or,
love that
at the
picture.
very least,
By the way, guys,
tries her best to listen to
I was
the
gifted
rhymes
a
as she
statue of that
falls
skin.
asleep. But depression aside, let's talk about how
That's so
Angelina's skin is
exciting.
pay to win.
Don't tell
So her
anyone.
Bloodline of Combat skin actually helps you in gameplay. Now you may think to yourself, that's some bullshit, as who wants his skin to outright make a character better? And why couldn't it be her summer skin, which is infinitely hotter? Well, thing is, the way it buffs Angelina isn't because it makes the attacks faster or anything like that, but it does make it so you can kill the enemies before her non-skin counterpart. The reason being, her Bloodlight of Combat skin points her staff a little closer to the enemy. Due to that, the projectile
Oh,
has
that
a
makes
smidge
sense.
less distance.
Okay, anyways, did you ever get it? Not yet. Not yet, as a matter of fact. Not quite yet. But I did end up getting like what's it called? Confirmed on that. So that's exciting. That's exciting. Okay. Yes. The Aya skin or summer skin, there is a statue that I'm excited for. There is a statue that I'm very excited for. Anyways, let's just get right back into it. Boom.
To travel before hitting the enemy. Now, is this actually pay to win? Homie, I'ma keep it 100. If you are paying to win with Angelina, let me just tell you about a little ice cream monster called Suitor. it being pay to win is a meme because the increase is negligible and so is Angelina's combat ability. I am sorry for saying that one. However, let's look at the opposite, a pay to lose skin belonging to the Abyss one, Platinum. Her skin does the same thing as Angelina's. It reduces the travel distance between your arrow and the enemy's cranium, but in the opposite way. It actually increases the distance, which may sound like a good thing because Platinum gains more attack the longer she spends in between attack intervals, but it's a little more complicated than that. So depending on the distance she gets a kill at, she may ready her next attack quicker. If the enemy is further away in the yellow area, and she kills them, she readies the next attack quicker, which means that it will do less damage because of her talent. But if she doesn't get a kill in that distance, the time in between hits will be the exact same. More specifically, it's tied to the travel time of the arrow in the air, and that's why frame rate could also fuck you over, but simplifying it, more range equals bad. Now the reason the skin hurts in this context is because since she moves a little further back, that distance, to where if she gets a kill it makes her attack quicker, gets increased slightly, making it easier to have the bug activate, causing times where she will not kill an enemy because of her skin being on. If you want a much more in-depth breakdown, there is a link to the Reddit post for this bug and Angelina's.
You've got to be kidding me. Did they fix these bugs yet?
Like
Are they
Platinum's
fixed?
chest. On the topic of Platinum, let's talk about the characters who are canonically a part of the Doctor's harem, as yes, this is very important information to discuss. So Platinum is on that list as she grew to like the Doctor after they saved her from the Armless Union. Gravel is too. In fact, her intro dialogue is her literally making out with the Doctor. Though the mask always stays on, so it was probably closer to the Doctor watching the equivalent to a fish sucking on glass as opposed to a full-blown kiss. Angelina also loves the Doctor, and so does Blue Poison. Unfortunately, that love has a table and bird combo to overcome. There's also Scotty. One really wholesome thing about that is when the Doctor is mentioned in Undertide, she smiles a little. Granted, her alternate form killed all life on Terra because of that love, which maybe isn't the most wholesome, but we could ignore that. Moonwoo loves the Doctor as well, because read Lone Trail, that's all the info you really need. The less wholesome side of that one though is Holahack, and the pinnacle of them all is Exia.
I like how there's just that creepy smile.
That is how she calls the Doctor her savior, but to me, the most insane Exia simp, her simply saying she's going to a hospital is enough reason for me to ship her with the Doctor. Now there are some maybe ones like Penance, Reed, and Dorothy, but the ones I've mentioned, especially Exia, are the most blatant ones. They're almost as blatant as the whale skeleton. So in case you don't know, this is a pic of the Rhodes Island landship. And when you flip it around, it's the skeleton of a big ass whale. Now, funny thing about that,
the biggest whale
cinematic shows a very similar whale. Apparently, I say apparently as we don't got the event on Global yet, it's the bones of Aphernima, a god in Arknights. Now, turns out, this bitch can teleport to a different dimension. I don't know what the connection is between this whale and the one in Rhodes Island, despite the fact that they look the same. I also don't know how that teleport shit works, because we're yet to get the event. But it may be possible that in the future we can teleport to a different dimension. And hopefully by then, the base will be out of beta. We all know it won't be. Just like how we all know Arknights creators will get hacked. So this is an actual serious topic. Throughout the years, many Arknights content creators have gotten their channels hacked. Dreamy did in the past, Tactus too. Nekugitsune, Isaac Wolf, Beyond, hell, even I got a scam email. At least I'm pretty sure it was, because the link's URL says this when you hover over it. And if it ain't a scam, then BlueStacks, you need to step up your game. But I got this email back when I created like 7 videos on Arknights, most of those being the shittiest unit showcases you have ever seen. And I got one. I don't know why this is the case, but it seems Arknights creators get targeted a lot for scams. Thankfully, in every case where someone got scammed, the entire community banded together, informed people on what happened, tweeted to YouTube, and made sure the creator who got hacked was fine. It's shitty to see happen, but it is heartwarming for the community to come together like that and help the person who was affected. It really shows how amazing this community is. With that being said, let's move
Don't
into
hack me, please. I don't have anything worthwhile.
The bittersweet wholesomeness, let's
I just
talk about
started
someone who hated the game. In May 2020, someone emailed Hypergriff asking to make music for the game. They said they were a big fan. Hypergriff basically said in response to that, "Hey yo, good shit homie, say less, we'll hop you on the next CC."
Yeah, me sweating right now. Please don't hack me, please. No, seriously, I wouldn't like respond or use anything. The thing is that I don't steal or use statues. I don't use anything other than Google Play Beta, and I'm very protective and very scared of random links. So unless it's like, hey, XYZ, there's evidence, I'd be like, no.
I may have paraphrased a little, but you get the point. So they had them create some work for Operation Cinder. The composer suggested a song similar to Strayer from Taishi, and Hypergriff followed that up by wanting another song similar to Calling from Rejection. Fast forward a bit, Hypergriff got the music from the composer and went, right, that shit works, we move. Turns out, the music was plagiarized. And not from any wacky source, nah, it was plagiarized from the damn references themselves. I do not know how the hell quality control missed that shit, but they found a way. Then naturally, people brought up how the music was plagiarized. Hell, that shit was brought up the same day the CC dropped. And the person who, I'm gonna put heavy quotations around this one, made it, dead said Hyperglyph told him to copy it, due to Hyperglyph suggesting a reference. The truth was that they are meant to be used as references, but not copied from. Now, this may seem weird to do all this bullshittery, because the person originally said they were a fan of the game, so why are they doing all this shit? Turns out, they fucking hated the game. And I ain't talking about some little old, I ain't feeling it, nah, this bitch despised it. They were well known on Weibo, basically Chinese Twitter, for hating on Arknights. And the plagiarism plot was meant to hurt the company's reputation because they just hated Arknights that much. Then in Hyperglyph's statement on the matter, they stated how their contract said that all content provided by the other party must be original content, so they fired him. The actual impact of the drama didn't result in much after Hyperglyph's statement. They basically aired out all their concerns and showed that the person copied these songs without Hyperglyph's permission or want. From there, they dropped the songs from the game in the OST CD, replaced that CC's music, and launched a ballistic missile at the plagiarist's house. Hell, they want to stick Gummy on their ass. And in case you don't know what I mean by that, and are confused why they would send Supa's favorite character in fiction at a weirdo, let me explain her habit. So Gummy has a habit is a line that is said a ton in Controversies. The explanation of the habit goes like this.
Is this what you guys were talking about? Gummy has a habit? You guys kept saying this during the Gummy PV?
Gummy has a habit. If she chops twice. If she chops thrice, the chopping board will break. She will suck the last bit of toothpaste before brushing. When hungry, Gummy will bite what's nearest. If not, now these habits point to a very dark truth. The truth is that she has eaten human meat before. The chops she does are a way to cut through bone. One slash to get to the bone, the next to start a chip in it, then the third to break through it. That's why the third hit is so strong. The habit of sucking toothpaste is a reference to sucking blood or bone marrow from bones in place of water. And the habit of her being hungry is self-explanatory. The reason she had to eat human meat is because in Chernobog, Patriot ordered that the kids be locked in the school to protect them. The only problem with that was how Mephisto ended up in charge of that operation. Due to the fact that Mephisto was a rat bitch who deserved everything that happened to him, they didn't have the greatest time under his rule. And during that time, the food warehouse burned down. They weren't given any more food either, so there was only one thing that could be done. She didn't want to eat humans, but it was either that or starvation. Due to the trauma she developed in Chernobog, she now has her habits. She isn't the only one hurt by that time either. Christina hates the fact that she had to kill her best friend who was defecting to the aristocrats. Zima thought she was doing the right thing in fighting against the aristocrats, but that choice led to the food storage being burned down. Now she has immense guilt and will not forgive herself. And Rosa regrets the choices she made as the leader of the aristocrats, believing she was kind and noble until seeing the reality of how she treated the civilians. That instead, she was cruel and evil. Due to this, she has tried to commit suicide many times. That is what happened in Controversies. However, the main message of the story is that even though that happened to them, they are still looking towards the future to overcome their trauma. It's a story that says even in crushing circumstances, hope will continue forward, which is also why Gummy's habits disappear when she is with Zima or Estina, because with them she wants to smile, to be happy, to help them. Despite what happens prior, she doesn't wish to see them sad. That is the story of Arknights in a nutshell. Even in the most depressing situations, hope will prevail. But there are a lot of depressing situations, like Collapsises.
Holy heck. Okay, so I'm learning a lot about lore and history in this one video. Much of it is about how horrifying this game actually is. Guys, I thought this game was about cute anime waifus with animal ears. I do not know why it's becoming this.
Her name is Joyce Moore, and she decided to partake in an experiment that would test if Originium could store past memories. If so, people can study Terra's history through Originium, which is why she signed up for the experiment, to have an Originium device implanted onto her brain. If the operation was successful, they could see so much of Terra's history. However, the experiment did not go as planned. A failsafe activated which kept her alive, but she was changed permanently. She now hears a voice in her head that does not speak any known languages. And to ease the burden on her mind, she now needs to speak like a machine, which is why she talks the way she does. The experiment was deemed a pioneering achievement, but Joyce Moore was significantly hurt as a result of it. Now naturally, after an experiment that changed someone's entire life for the worse was just conducted, the person who did that had the really genius idea of let's do that shit again, because they want to figure out what the voice in Talopsis's brain is. All in all, I think we could say it together. Fuck Columbia. Let's instead talk about something worth theorizing on, the Star-Class caster leader. So this slacker, esteemed member of Reunion, appears in nowhere. They are listed in the Dark Knights Memoir Annihilation enemy list, but they don't actually appear in the stage, or at all. In no stage over the course of the game's lifespan has this motherfucker appeared. Until recently. In a stage for Reclamation algorithm, they finally appeared. As to why it took them years to come out, I don't know. Maybe they were getting milk, maybe they saw Suter in the Metacarms he has and said, I ain't dealing with that shit. Or maybe they were just too busy being an otaku with Hordier. We don't know. But after years, they finally exist, and it is not beautiful in the slightest. I won't even hold you. The regular versions are annoying as shit. I don't need the buffed one to deal with. They could have just held them in the cage of the forgotten characters alongside Matoi Maru, and I wouldn't have complained. But I suppose they've unfortunately finally returned after they should have appeared in Dark Knight's Memoir. And on the topic of that, let's talk about how W came early. Remember when I said that Yostar choosing the event order involves a 3-liter bottle of Jack Daniels and a dartboard? Yeah, this is a prime example of that. So in CN, during Dark Knight's Memoir, midway through it they got W's banner as it was Arknights' first anniversary, and they were able to roll for her, have RNG screw them, etc, etc. Now after Dark Knight's Memoir, like 2 months after it, they got Twilight of Olamont. And in that event, there was a stage where players could use W. Even if you didn't have her, she was available to use. Now on global side of things, we got Twilight of Olamont 2 months before the anniversary, before we could even roll for W. Mind you, that stage still existed for global players, which means that due to Yostar's unique schedule, Global got to play with W 2 months before they were even able to roll for her and have RNG screw them out of getting her. And I gotta say, Yostar,
cool.
Give me some of that shit you take before making the schedule. Your boy is heavily intrigued by that black market shit you got your hands on, especially whatever Hyperglyph was taken when they made Frostleaf weaker after Elite 2. So, fun little fact, if you V2'd Frostnova at home, you have inflicted permanent account damage. That's because you unlock her talent at Elite 2, which increases her attack speed interval by 0.15 seconds. But in return, you get a whopping 2 tiles of extra range. Yeah, this ain't no Full Metal Alchemist equivalent exchange, this shit is just ass. It is not worth it. Especially when you look at how both of her skills slow the enemy on hit. Dog, I want to be swinging with her, not regretting E2ing her. Which is why E2 makes her weaker, cause you make her roll of bind and slow worse as she attacks slower whilst giving her a bit extra range. Maybe in the future they can make her E2 worthwhile by giving her a god tier module that gives her the ability to freeze. I mean shit, she's called Frostleaf. But as of right now, without being able to do that, homie might as well be called Summer Breeze, as her current codename might as well be a catfish. It's tragic. Even 12F as a developer couldn't help avoid this fate. Now this one's a little bit of a bait entry, but the reason it's here is because 12F is the hexadecimal for Lowlight's birthday, February 16th, 1991. In hexadecimal, it's 12F CE48. Now, 2 interesting things about 12F is that Lowlight made his design back in 2014. And in the artwork, you can see the person who speculated to be his friend, Owl, in the art. But the more interesting thing is how he was in the final secret cutscene of Chapter 8. In it, 12F was talking to the Doctor, but the final bit they said, provided you chose the right dialogue choice, felt like the developers talking through 12F. I won't go over all the dialogue, but you can see it here. The most important thing, though, is how they said the future will unfold differently depending on the choices you make. Now, what that means, we don't know. It could be telling us that the Doctor will have more agency in the future chapters, which has proven to be true in stuff like Break the Ice, Vigilio, and Lone Trail. It could also be saying that the choices in Arknights may affect the later story in stuff like Enfield, or it could just be some random thoughts of a senile lizard. We don't know, but I feel like that cutscene was made with purpose. We're just yet to fully see what it means. But in the future, I'm willing to bet that we'll see what Hyperglyph is cooking. For now though, let's talk about Say Gex. So in Dringalef Scatty Inspector is a little joke.
So 12F is Lowlight. That's the secret. All this time, 12F is Lowlight. Dang. That's awesome. Okay. Cool. Good to know. 12F is Lowlight. We know this. We know the truth now. We know the truth now, Lowlight. You can't get away from us. Okay. Did he just be a 2-star? You don't know that. For all we know, during Monster Hunter, he'll get his next one.
Originating from this line. Now, it do seem high-key gay, I won't even hold you, but it might mean something different. It might be meaning that she is the same kin as Scouty Inspector. Now, as I said prior, they are Abyssal Hunters made from the blood of the Seaborn, and Andrina may be one of them. Hell, she's even in the faction on the network chart. But that begs some good questions. Why do the Abyssal Hunters not know of her? Why is she unsure of her feelings towards them? Why doesn't she have the same physical strength as them? And why does she not have red eyes and white hair? I mean, gameplay wise, she is one. The buffs for Abyssal Hunters works on her, and even Galagia's base skill does. Where evidence stacks to show that she is one, it also builds to say that she isn't. Which is where an interesting theory comes into play. Take this line from Kelshi. The difference between Andrina on one side and Spectre and Scotty on the other is something like that between a drop of ink into clear water and a proper inkwell. The drop of ink in itself is an infringement upon the dignity of life, to the point that Kelshi expressed clear disdain for it. There are those who have reached their hands into places they do not belong. Those for whom this stupidity is very much in character. Then in the past, Andrina said she was involved in something as a child but wasn't given many details. However, currently she is often taken to a Barian court over her weapon because it looks like a gun, only to explain in court over and over that it's a crossbow taking the appearance of one. The thing is though, they shouldn't need to take her into court over and over because of that factor. Instead, it seems like they're using that as an excuse to look for something, which has made people speculate one of two things. Either she is Iberia's attempt at creating an Abyssal Hunter. They try to make one and it failed, but they often check back on Andrina to see the results of the experiment they did when she was a child. Or that she is the Church of the Deep's attempt at making one. We don't know for sure, but based on Kelshi's dialogue, I view either theory to be likely. It sounds about right for the shit show that is Terra, so I view them to hold a lot of water. But they're yet to be confirmed as canon. Though, if you want to see more of the theory, link to it in the description. Let's instead talk about her other identity, Lowlight. So this is a cosplay of Andrina. Deadass, it looks really well made. Amazing cosplay, all in all 10 out of 10 work.
Oh no.
It's also Lowlight wearing the cosplay. That's right. The Pharaoh himself wore this to an anime convention in Shanghai. And the best part is, no one knew he was the one cosplaying. They just thought it was...
Oh my gosh, wait. He was cosplaying as Andrina. Sometimes it takes a man to make the best girl.
It was a cosplay done by a fan, not by the person who made the game. And people didn't figure it out until the con was over. Homie dead went incognito mode with a cosplay that had no reason to be that hard. That shit right there is deserving of respect. I hope my Foss cosplay can live up to that level of greatness. Though I'm only gonna cosplay Foss if I hit 20,000 subs before the end of February, which means your boy is safe as can be. And with me being reassured of that fact, let's move on to Layer 8, our God's domain. And here we'll talk about another time Arknights was caught plagiarizing. So, X-Wipe's design, pretty good, right? Looks nice.
Okay. Well, he kind of looked pretty and then pulls out wedding ring. And then turned into official skin. Oh my
Simple
gosh.
but effective drip. It gives facial expressions masochists love and looks terrifying when she's happy. What if I told you though that it was plagiarized? Stolen from another, much more talented artist than the hacks that work for Arknights. Now the story begins when a screenshot surfaced of a conversation held between the greatest minds humanity has ever seen. Within that screenshot us mere mortals can never hope to understand, they say that Kelshi's design was stolen from a small Pixar artist. Their name, the name of the person who was plagiarized from, is Lowlight. That's right.
Oh gosh.
The fucking creator of the game. The person who made Kelshi's design years ago as an OC and went, hey, oh, this shit slaps, I'm gonna put her on Arknights. Had Hyperlift, the company he founded, plagiarized from him. As you may suspect, maybe the brightest minds weren't the ones leading the allegations.
You can't make this up. You can't make this up, guys. This is stuff that you can't come up with randomly on the fly.
I am glad this is the person making the game. I won't even hold you. He's funny as fuck. Though there is a design that was taken from another game, W's. Her design was originally in Girls Front Line because Lowlight was the art director of Mika before going his separate way to make Arknights. But we can see some of the basis for her design in M4 SOP Mod 2. What the hell is that name? Though more specifically, she was going to be MK18, but because the two were a little too similar, she was scrapped. Regardless, M4 is also as unhinged as W is. When you take that fact, added on to how similar the designs look, it's pretty obvious that Lowlight wanted that design and character they made to be an Arknights. So what I'm trying to say is, W is not only a cockroach, she's a knockoff. I would like to apologize for my actions on this day. Instead, let's focus on how Game Press made a Girls Frontline collaboration prank for April Fools. Yeah, look at that before acknowledging the truth. Slander I gave out about W. Let's also pivot and talk about how the bards corrupt the game. Now this was a fun little bug which involved bards that was quite frankly a damn creepypasta. The way to trigger it was by using Sora's skill as she was speaking. From there, this creepy sound would play.
Oh gosh.
And it would continue until either the heat death of the universe or until the stage was completed. As to why this
that's creepy.
happened, we don't know. Which then leaves room for speculation and theories. My theory is that she's actually saying Suter has character and goes through growth, but most people are too blind to really see that. The reason it's being muffled is because Hypergriff is afraid of that truth being said out loud. And with that bomb being dropped, now's a good time to talk about how CC1 was harder for Global. So this one doubles back to the drug-infused decision-making of Global's schedule. But when CC1 Operation Pirate released for Global, we were missing some events
some
and banners
Bayonetta
that were meant
music
to
up in
drop
here.
before.
Oh,
CN got
oh.
Darknight's Memoir in the first anniversary banners. Global instead got Children of Ursus and Twilight of Wallamond. So CN had Phantom, Shamari, Elysium, Weedy, and W Dance, whilst we had Rosa, Leonhardt, Absinthe, Airscape, and Arlight. And this made the CC harder to max risk, mainly because of not Phantom, he's ass, but Elysium and Weedy. Elysium helped a ton with DP because the max risk tags made it generate slow as hell. Yet he and Myrtle made that shit generate faster than Discord turning people into femboys. Meanwhile, Weedy kept the enemy solid with her very aggressive method of waterboarding the opposition. And Global couldn't do that shit. We had Rosa, who was nowhere to be found past risk 20, the 5 stars who might as well have been in the ethereal realm as no one was using their asses, and Suzerain, who was legitimately R-like because she was kinda cracked for this shit. The highest risk people completed was 27, and in those runs, people used the max 10 squad size restriction. There was one that made it lower, but no one was able to get a high risk clear with that one. But because risk 27 runs were restricted to 10 ops, Suzerain helped a ton as she was able to do multiple roles. But most importantly, she kinda did what Elysium was able to do. Her skill 3 slows and debuffs the enemy, so she was able to do what his skill 2 did, whilst making the enemy slower and take more damage, but without the DP generation and with a much bigger timer. Though her basic attacks helped stall, and her talent 1 was a great battery for everyone. Without her, Global probably wouldn't have been able to clear risk 27. As when I say it was harder, trust me, it was much harder. I mean, look at the teams Global used for risk 27. They're all the same, because there wasn't that much room for flexibility. If Suzu wasn't released, then I don't know who could have taken her spot and enabled that run. Meanwhile, 2 CN clears didn't even use Silver Ash, they had Exia instead, and I gotta say, base choice right there. Hell, one of the CN teams didn't even have Weedy, which goes to show how much more flexibility they had in unit selection for risk 27. Weirdly enough though, even with that being the case, both Global and CN chose these same tags for risk 27, with the only one changing being either banning specialists and snipers or guards and casters. Global all had to go with banning specialists as there weren't many good ones, while CN had strats going either way. But for the first big contingency contract, I'm glad Global was able to keep up with CN clears despite lacking a fair bit of firepower. It actually gives me hope
figured
that
it out.
EN
That's
can
right.
win,
Global
as
clears are still
fleeting
good.
as that hope usually is. And if you want to see the clears, link to them in the description. But for now, we'll talk about the hero of EN, Laurent. Now this person, nay, this god, blessed the community with their presence about 2 years ago. You may ask yourself, what did this deity do? And the answer to that is underneath every single video on YouTube about Arknights. Hell, as a reply to every comment under every video for Arknights, they were there. Sending messages, words of wisdom, wholesome tales, stuff the community can rally behind. Which is to say, every single comment they made was completely and utterly shitting on Arknights and anything related to it. They would say the game is dead or dying and that Genshin Impact was infinitely better. Now you may think to yourself that people possibly hated this person due to their extreme takes, but the exact opposite happened. At first, yeah, people were annoyed by them. Then they grew to love them. Because on one hand, they slandered the game every single chance they had, but on the other, what they said was funny as hell, and indirectly, it probably boosted the shit out of Arknights in the algorithm, as YouTube pushes videos more if they get a lot of comments. And this is where I'd like to remind you to like, comment, and subscribe. But due to them aiding in the popularity of Arknights and being insanely dedicated to watching videos about it, players grew to love Laurent. They made lore about them, videos detailing their accomplishments. Hell, even EN decided to advertise on St. Laurent Boulevard as an ode to the king. However, unfortunately, YouTube committed a regicide. They banned Laurent's account, possibly because of the slightly not so wholesome things they've
Game Genshin Honkai Arc Trash play Genshin. Don't play this game. Chibi game could play Genshin Impact. Okay, it's very good. Why waste your time?
Said, but that's besides the point. However, the worst of all was that Laurent was banned after they grew to like Arknights. It went from foe to a beloved friend, and at the end of it all, died as a comrade.
Oh.
Laurent, I know you're out there. With your now level 120 Arknights account and maxed out Kelshi, I know you love the game. And brother, the community loves you. YouTube may have deleted you, but rest in peace, my king.
Lauren.
With that out of the way, let's talk about Snoop Dogg. In the base, when we take a look at the palicos from the Monster Hunter collab, they do the dance, which means that Snoop Dogg is canon, and this information makes me incredibly happy. And that happiness is ripped away when I hear the theory that Elysium is blind. You may think this to be some
Wait, what?
tomfoolery, but let me explain. The theory has a couple of different points to it. One, his eyes are cloudy, and homie's pulling up many different telescopes and satellites in his Z2. His skill 2 is called focused listening, meaning he's good at hearing, therefore he's on that daredevil shit. His communication pole doubles as a walking stick. His deploy 1 says, I wonder who our target will be. Now this can either mean he's Eren Yeager or blind. You take a pick. And the final point, he's been in contact with Mr. Beast.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
this theory probably holds in the water, but I'll be damned if it wasn't a fun read. Link to it in the description. The one theory that surprisingly is true is the one that 3 stars used to be able to get promoted to Elite 2. As we all know, 3 stars are capped at Elite 1. It's one of the countermeasures Hypergriff has against God Cruz. It's impossible to raise them to Elite 2. In the game's current form, that is. However, prior to its release, we were able to Elite 2 3 stars, and the proof of that is right on a ship. Go to any 3-star operator's file, click on the audio tab, right-click on the JP audio link and select copy audio address. From there, change the numbers at the end to 014 and hit enter.
あれ送信嬉しいよ。まあ肩書きが変わっても私は私のままだから別に変わらないよ。
On my side, the audio auto downloads and plays, but that is how you can access the lines for Elite 2 3 stars. And in case you're wondering what they're saying, homie, I'm sorry to report, but I got a thing called monolingual skill issue. So in terms of what they're saying, I can't tell in confidence. But if I were to hold a guess as to why they got the voice line,
Dang. I'd say same. I'd say same, Sunil, but I don't have monolingual skill issue. I just have a skill issue in general with English.
it's probably because in development they decided to let 3 stars get to Elite 2. Some people speculate it's because Elite 3 might have been a thing in development, as we've seen data mines for the icon of it, but
Okay.
we don't know for sure. All we know is that for the full release, them boys are capped at E1, which is really unfortunate because Elite 2 Cruise would have been better than like 90% of the 4-star snipers out there. But Hypergriff had to take precautions against God Cruz, so I can slightly understand the rationale behind that decision,
God
but I will never
Cruz.
forgive it. And with that statement being said, let's move on to Layer 9, the unification. First order of business at Layer 9 is to expose Siege, for quite honestly a really fun detail. So in IRL, that mythical realm, lions cannot taste sweets. Skill issue, to be honest. And Siege is a lion-human hybrid, don't question Arknights lore. With that being said though, she is normally seen with a lollipop, which begs the question of, if she can't taste sweets, is she just tasting air? And the answer is that the lollipop isn't sweet, it's actually sour. Now as to how that data was retrieved, I don't know. The doctor must have been at Zero Sanity and saw Siege. From there, fuck it, curiosity killed the cat with the bigger cat. But we know that the lollipops aren't sweet. Add that to the fact the lions can't taste sweets, and it's seeming likely that Siege can't either. Which is a neat little detail, and I want to see more stuff like that for other operators. One thing I don't wish to see though is how Nightingale was censored.
Oh,
In
no.
case you don't know, take a look at this art. It's her in-game art. Now compare it to this. If you're a degenerate, you've already seen the difference. The cheek has been hidden. I think due to this fact, we need to boycott the game and trend with the hashtag #NotMyNightingale. Honestly, how dare Hypergriff do this? And if you look at her hand, she's doing the thing. No, I'm just playing. She wasn't actually censored, just redrawn. I mean, most of you have already done this, but look at her feet. Compared to the other art, the shoes look better and the orientation of them is different. Getting rid of the cheek was probably because it wasn't meant to look like that. It just seems seem that way because of the outfit. And I mean, anatomically, it wouldn't make any sense. You could also see the straps on her dress being changed. So Nightingale's art being updated was probably because the prior one was either an early version being sent in, or maybe the artist was like, nah, I could do better. We don't really know, but it isn't actually censorship, just a redraw. And something you probably don't know about is how W ignores gacha rules. In the past, during the Rainbow Six Siege,
Yami, I didn't do anything. I didn't even look anywhere. I don't have an eye tracker. You guys can't see anything. Please, please, don't say stuff like this.
banner and see, and players were able to roll W on that banner. Thing is, she shouldn't have been able to be rolled. It was a bug. Yes, I'm gonna make the easy ass joke. Of course the fucking cockroach slithered in out of nowhere where she wasn't meant to be. That was an easy ass joke, but I'm glad I made it. Let's talk about Jesus being canon. This one is no cap too. In Near Light, Mob said Jesus. How much money are we gonna owe? I didn't look at anything. Therefore proving that his ass is canon. Which begs some questions like, what's his gun? I'm thinking a rocket launcher that shoots out crosses and nails. What did the wise men gift him? I'm betting a brand new 22. And were the 12 disciples about that life? You're damn straight they were. Them motherfuckers definitely did some drive-bys. Granted, all of this goes out the window when we look at how the translation was changed to instead say Lord. And yeah, that shit kinda sucks. I won't even cap. They could've gone the Beyblade route and made religion canon by having Moses split the Red Sea with a babe, but they kinda just pussied out of that. So maybe it is cap. Maybe Jesus isn't canon. But if we ever get a Sancta named Jesus who shoots nails and crosses, I will pot six that motherfucker not only on my account, but on 10 others. It's gonna be a crazier pulling session than the drunken Kelshi pulls, which was a time where a CN streamer decided to roll on the Kelshi and Skelter banner. Thing is though, he was on that same shit Yostar takes for event planning. He was drunk as hell, which is why the recording starts with this.
为斯卡利献上心脏，撒撒给我，撒撒给我，心脏撒撒给我。
Yeah. That's how you can tell we're gonna be in for a ride. So this streamer, Xiaolang XF, did 32 pulls on the banner, got Akafuyu, called her crab, and then proceeded to... I desperately need to know what they were on for this. Then they proceeded to say that they have been here since 2008 just for this headhunting, which makes me think this motherfucker is Gilgamesh with future sight. Back in 2008, they had a vision of this banner and couldn't wait for it. Regardless, after teetering on the brink of despair for a minute, in the span of 2 frames, they became locked in for the next 10 pull. Got nothing, said the 6-star raid, high mouse game is too low, drank water, questioned why it was tasteless. Saw the fact their random was empty, bought a pack, did a 10 pull, got a weedy, despaired, did another 10 pull, got Sculptor, mutilated their table. Then cried tears of joy. Won't even hold you, I feel that shit in the depths of my soul. Then they talked about how nuclear waste is being dumped in the water and decided to do what any good streamer does. Pull up Microsoft Paint for a visualization of what they're saying. From there, the goal of uniting the JP players and the CN players was mentioned. They wanted to... to unite like a sandwich. Their words, not mine. To then stop the companies pouring waste into the water. And apparently AF Ayala is also going to be on the case to help it, but maybe not, because immediately afterwards they said they were incapable of arranging that, followed by sobbing for 30 seconds, crying about how Ayala will become... I'm dirty if he did that. More sobbing, then saying we were too weak. Weak because we have no power. But shit, maybe they are a fake character. Now during all of this, Scotty is giving us ASMR in the background and we turn to her for help. Sob more, asks if Pharaoh, hi now, is here. Then says he should lead them to revenge. Maybe against the company pouring waste into the sea? I couldn't tell you. I'm yet to get what they were on, so I'm currently unable to really embody the mindset. Afterwards, they proceeded to sing the Evangelion opening as the Bot More Originite Prime. Then Bot More Originite Prime.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Bought the 40 pack of Prime. Bought the 66 pack of Prime. clicked on the most expensive pack of Prime, and I'll just let this one play out.
真的我不知道，双星他走了之后，真的不知道我日子会一天比一天真的难熬啊。
Proceeded to exclaim that they will give Hypergriff all of their money, followed that up by saying they are high Mao and about to roll for Scatty, and then immediately said they already got her. Went to the store and bought an extra skin and shouted...
哎呀，我永远喜欢森冉。
That's where the VOD ends.
Oh my god! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh, help me! Where's my water? Okay, I need to summarize what happened. The guy starts the VOD, mentions he's drunk, tries to pull, calls an operator a crab. Pulls for oh my gosh, pulls for tries to pull for Scotty, can't do it, keeps on pulling, purchases a bunch of packs, opens up like MS Paint to try and unite China with Japan, create like a sandwich. Oh, and then and then says that Ayala is real. talks about being in love with Scotty. Okay, and then purchases a bunch of different Enrican and Prim. Mentions that they'll give Hypergriff all their money. Realizes that they pulled for Scotty, then goes and buys United Skin. And then immediately says that they love your neckties instead. And it just ends it. It just Okay. I'm good, guys. I'm good. Oh my god. Okay. Oh gosh, I think I just developed a six-pack from that entire 3 minutes. And his domestic neckties is pretty hot. Oh my gosh. Holy heck. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. I can't even believe this is just sad. I'm pretty sad right now. Oh gosh. Okay. All right. Let's continue on with the video.
After the recording, they bought flight tickets to Japan for the operation of uniting like a sandwich and stopping nuclear waste. But because of flight restrictions, they couldn't exactly travel there, so instead they just bought domestic tickets. Then packed his bags and presumably passed the fuck out. Next day they woke up, had a dream that they were doing all these polls on Arknights, went to buy some food and found out they only had $5 in their bank. And went on to upload a video talking about what happened and then threw up the video of their polls. That's the best summary I can do of the polls, but brother, listen to me. In the description is the translated video of it. You need to check that shit out. It's fucking funny. The best part is, they weren't even a streamer. They said that they were Xiaolang XF, but they're a different person. They were just too drunk and thought they were the same. Now, due to the video being, unique, it got 7 million views in 4 days. Deservedly so, because that shit was a work of art. It was so damn funny.
Oh my
and another
gosh.
story about polls happens to be on the same limited banner. And that story is a beautiful one. A Reddit user called HackerLord101 started playing Arknights. A month into playing it, they made a bold decision, followed by a post on Reddit saying day 20 of saving for Kelshi with the rule of no spending a random until Kelshi drops. They did state that they'll still use headhunting tickets, as the only rule was that they could not use a random at all. But on day 20 of saving, they had 73 pulls, counting Prime, 36 without. The next post was on day 60, with art showing their resolve, and with a statement showing the reason for saving. They weren't saving because she was overpowered in the beta, nah. They started saving before seeing her gameplay. They also updated saying they used some headhunting tickets to get Myrtle, understandable, and that they were saving the rest for Neon, also understandable. Day 90 rolls around. They have 151 randoms worth of pulls. Recruitment has been good to them. This is their current lineup, with them having got some from recruitment and some from the roles they did prior to saving. Now keep in mind two things. One, they buy the monthly headhunting pack. That shit is $26 and it only gives them a 10 pull they can use because the rules state no random gets used. So that 42 Prime is really only there for skins. They also buy the monthly card, which is $5. Now them getting these was on and off, but the dedication is amazing. Because of the other reason, that was the fact we had zero clue Kelshi was going to be released. We knew of her being in the beta, but we did not know any information on her being a playable operator in the full game. Day 120. They have over 100k a random and managed to clear Risk 18 for the very first contingency contract. Day 150. They said they have 300 to spark if they count their prime, but pot 6 is the goal. Day 180. A random stock's a bit above 150k.
Oh my
Day
gosh.
240. They have over 200,000. Day 270. Over 220,000. Day 395. 310,000. Day 430 of saving for Kelshi. She's announced. They have been saving for more than a year, not using any random for pulls, saving for a character that we did not know existed in the final release, but now we have it. A ray of hope. In 6 months, her banner will come to global and this long journey will pay off. A random stocks at 336,000. Day 575. 467,000 a random. Day 610. The banner drops. They have almost 500,000 a random and are streaming their pulls. They show their squad first, the units they got with only headhunting tickets, and then they go to pull, starting with the free single pull.
Escape that freeze. If you melted the snow, you would still know there is a blade heaven made you can see.
No way.
Mighty spell as your heart fell shatters, it all comes crashing down. You can let me be your body. I will take the clothes when they come hard. I will be your one.
Starting with Kelsit.
They had saved for more than a year and a half, totaling more than 800 pulls before rolling, and they got her on the first free pull. If that shit isn't
It was
deserved,
meant
then
to
I don't
be.
know what is. It is something dead ass out of a fairy tale. She was E2'd immediately and sent to get M9'd. Next was the free 10 pull, KOB. Not the desired target, but at least it was a free pull. They do 32 pulls without a 6-star, then their next 10 pull is another Kelshi. The next 10 pull is 2 6-stars, a third Kelshi, and regular Scotty, which they got in the past with headhunting tickets when they were rolling for Spectre. The chance of them getting a dupe was astronomically low, but on the bright side, they've done 63 pulls and got 5 6-stars, 3 of those being Kelshi. Next 10 pull, a 4th Kelshi. RNG was getting a bit heated, so the next 50 pulls didn't have any 6-stars. But the next 10 pull after that had the 5th Kelshi. The 10 pull after that, 2 6-stars. First the Sculptor, they were probably happy with getting her. Then the next 6-star was the final Kelshi. It only took 143 pulls to get her to pot 6. Nami could never. After raising her to 90, they did some more pulls for W as they weren't able to get her on her release banner. On the road to Spark W, they got a dupe Exia, Passenger, a dupe Suitor, a Stray Cat, and finally, another Kelshi. They got her pot 7. Got Sculptor and had 310,000 random
Oh my
RNG had blessed
gosh.
them for their devotion to the cause. They weren't doing this without playing the game, mind you. They still went for risky 18s. Nor are they a YouTuber doing the challenge for content. Hell, the only thing they have uploaded is the VOD. Nah, they just did this, saved for almost 2 years because it was Kelshi. I make jokes all the time like I'm the #1 Sinclair simp, #1 Exia simp, but this person is easily deserving of the title Kelshi's #1 fan, supporter, believer, whatever the hell #1 title you can think of, they've earned it. This started out with no proof she would be in the final release of the game. Then 610 days later they had her pot 7. And recently they said they even have her pot 15, so you just know their account is permanently blessed with Kelshi. They got the buff. Regular accounts got a 50-50 for a 6-star. Theirs now has a 50% rate up, 25% Kelshi rate up, and 25% someone random. Hell, Lowlight himself probably blessed the account. And I reached out to them to ask some questions, and turns out they were able to eventually get any units they missed before rolling for Kelshi, which makes this a beautiful story of an account gaining the permanent Kelshi blessing buff.
This
and
is
with
such
that
a
tale
sweet
finished,
story.
let's move to layer 10, the final layer. And let's start this off with something wholesome, plagiarism. Again, first time it was someone who had an immense rage motive for the game. Second was a creator copying themselves. So I'm sure this time is equally weird and funny, nothing terribly harmful. Turns out it's actual plagiarism this time, and not by somebody orchestrating some 8-dimensional chess game to hurt Arknights' reputation. The person who did it was just stupid. The situation was that Lapland, Liskarm, and Province's archives used to be plagiarized from, funnily enough, Rainbow Six Siege. Now that's something I heard, but I needed proof to see how it was and if it was legit. So I went to Bilibili, copied the Chinese names for the characters off the wiki, and proceeded to search for any video that was made early 2019, as that would be before the characters' files were changed. I finally found a video about Lapland's files, then compared it to the files on Parts Wiki. If it was different, I took a screenshot of it, put it into something to copy the text from it, then put it into DeepL, a translator. Now I say this for 2 reasons. One is to highlight why this video is making me slowly lose my mind, and 2, to say that the translated file may not have the greatest accuracy because of what I had to do to understand it. What can I say? Monolingual skill issue. But from what I've seen, only her file 1 was changed from release to what we have now. So I translated it and got this. I put it into Google for Rainbow Six, and the wiki that pulled up was Smokes. This is the line that her original file looks to have been copied from. It isn't one-to-one due to the scuffed ass way of translating it to English, but I'm willing to bet she was copied from Smoke. And I couldn't find videos about Liskarm or Province's original files because they rewrote the archives fast as hell when people were talking about how it was plagiarized. Within 12 hours, Hypergraph rewrote the files, updated the game, then nuked the contractor who plagiarized. From what I've seen, it wasn't that big a deal as it was just some lines in the archive being copied and it was fixed really quickly. Naturally, it didn't get shipped that way on EN either. Something that was weirdly shipped on EN though was Angelina being able to attack with her 3rd skill. Now the way to do this bug is honestly pretty simple. So you need to be fighting the Rat King. From there, deploy Angelina and invoke the genius strategy of having her get demolished by the tornado. Now as she's in the Sahara washing machine, you need to activate her 3rd skill. As it's up, have her die. From there, when you deploy her again, she'll be able to do regular attacks and use her 3rd skill. Now as to why this is the case, I don't know. Maybe she's pissed you let Master Splinter have a positive KD against her, I couldn't tell you. But I can tell you that it's possible to make Suitor fully immortal. Now like the prior bug, this one is fairly easy to do. However, it's a bitch to explain. So I'm gonna use Rhode Island HQ's explanation for this so I don't accidentally give out the steps to summon Satan. So the game recycles buff containers to save memory. Long story short, in the simplest way possible, there's a value for buffs. Imagine it as a true or false. More specifically, it's different, but again, simplifying. If you want a detailed breakdown, link to one in the description. Now if you let a Shamari doll retreat next to KO Bear Scavenger, you make the buff container invalid. the buff in this case being Lone Wolf. Imagine it to where you basically fuck the game in the ass by having
Oh,
Shimara's doll retreat
gosh.
next to those with Lone Wolf. The game had 2 buffs pop at the same time and thus glitches out that buff value, which becomes false, invalid. When that shit becomes invalid, it makes it so any buff activated afterwards doesn't work. And in game, Suther's immortality talent is treated as a buff. So when that becomes invalid, she no longer gets retreated after 8 seconds at 1 HP, and instead stays on the field forever unless you manually retreat her. Now of course, since the origin of this bug is invalidating a buff, there's a lot of other cool shit you can do with it, like making Unetics constantly regenerate SP, even when not blocking. And keep in mind, this was before she got the module to be able to do that. You could also rip away Faust's invisibility or make Tallulah stop that dumb little mini sun shit. Now
What the
unfortunately,
heck was
and
that?
kind of understandably, the bug has been fixed. But it was easily one of the coolest bugs we've gotten in the game, and the mechanisms behind it are almost equal to the depth of the 100-page Rosemontis thesis. So this one's
Wait,
both crazy
what?
yet equally impressive to how crazy it is. So it's as the name implies, a 100-page thesis on Rosemontis, breaking down her uses, attack value, skills, and I don't know, probably her blood type and how many strands of hair there is in her head. The thing is, the thesis is 100 pages. This iceberg is at 67 pages right now. So imagine the length of this video, but entirely geared towards Rosemontis. That is
Oh
to
my
say,
gosh.
I do not know how the hell
Oh,
they were
my
able
eyes.
to cook so hard. Unfortunately, I cannot get an in-document translation without a WeChat login, whatever the hell WeChat is, but I am 1000% sure that within the pages of this document exists the truth to the universe. And if it doesn't, then I do not know what the hell they were able to talk about for 100 pages dedicated to Rosemary. Regardless, I am beyond impressed with what they made, a link to the document in the description. Now, an honorable mention within the same vein is the person who wrote their graduation thesis on Silver Ash's design. And apparently that paper did really well, understandably so. If he's gonna be the king of bloodlines, then he better have the drip to back it up. Now those 2 papers are really impressive, especially the Rosemontis one, as I would have just described her as Betelgeuse Cat Edition. But something that is even more complex than the 100-page thesis is the Institute. Now when I say the Institute, I'm not
Glory?
referring to some shadow organization that secretly runs Hyperglyph. I'm instead talking about the Great Owls Research Institute of Egyptology. So after hearing me say that out loud, you may think that the effects of me making this video for 1 month straight has finally taken over my sanity. And honestly, it has. But trust, they're a real thing. They're a group of CN players who banded together to uncover the mystery of Hyperglyph's ARGs and random codes. One example of a code they cracked was in the second PV of Arknights. For half a second in that trailer, a code appears and they caught that shit. Figured out it was Morse code, got this whack ass shit, then figured out it was the IMDb number for Back to the Future. Weird fine, but the process was cool. Now, when the Taiwanese server dropped their PV, the Institute found it and analyzed that shit frame by frame, figuring out 5 different instances of something weird popping up. I should also probably mention that they had to turn the brightness up enough to create a mini sun to see these little puzzles. But they saw these images and put them together and found out it was a QR code. Scanning it gave the word K hyperglyph com. Then later in the trailer, they saw a frame that said A with the rest censored, so they put them together to get A hyperglyph com, the official pre-order website for Arknights. Now that image, when rotated east, gives the word next, so they put in ak.hyperglyph.com/next and saw this. A message from Closure, but at the top it's sent to /dear recorder. So they put
What
that
in
in
the
after the
world?
website domain and heard this.
Now, you should be that one. The one who brings hope back.
Terrifying, to say the least, but that also gave them an idea. Remember the Back to the Future line? Well, what if they input future after the domain? This image appears, with the file name
You're
being
kidding
to
me.
the future. Now put the future at the end of the domain and you get this. Then they deciphered the code to reveal these messages. And you see these quotes appear in the same PV they got the future line from. But the numbers at the bottom were still unsolved for, until Code of Brawl. Now, as is the case, they analyzed this frame by frame and found a barcode. A Japanese postal barcode which gave the same IMBD number as Back to the Future. And they also found 2 parts of a QR code. And when you scan that, you got the URL for ak.hyperglyph.com/pengulogistics/tracking. Enter the Back to the Future
No.
number and this pops up, with hidden text underneath it. They decrypted the Morse code at the top and got this number, punched it into the tracker and saw this. Now the meaning of this is no one fucking knew. It came out of left field and left the Institute in the dust. Then Hyperglyph issued a challenge. The first to solve this puzzle got a reward. Now this right here was basically the fucking One Piece for Arknights players, and the Institute wasn't gonna let anyone else become the Pirate King. A researcher by the name of Sir Liv figured out that the middle of the picture was code. Shortly it was decrypted to reveal the text DJ Okawari. They posted the answer and won the One Piece. which was another fucking puzzle. The deadass just got One Piece Shippuden, but this related back to the future puzzle. And with this extra clue, the Institute was still slumped. They tried to fill the square with Minesweeper, crosswords, or Sudoku, but none of those were really working. Until a researcher on December 25th proposed the idea, what if we consider the blank cell as flags in Minesweeper and calculate the number of mines based on the Minesweeper rule on each cell except cross cell? Truly, I do not know what the hell they meant by that, but the puzzle was refined into this. And the letter Surlive got said try plus and minus, so they did and got a Sudoku puzzle. To verify I was correct, at the end of the future picture, the numbers corresponded to the points on the Sudoku. So row 3 column 3 is 2, row 4 column 4 is 1, etc, etc. With this, they found the compass. Paired with the acrylic map, they can finish One Piece Shippuden. Only problem: where the fuck is the compass supposed to point to? What's the correct orientation of it? This is where they went back to 2017. On the old official website for Arknights, this picture was found. The code decrypted with base 36 says controlled her mind, but the important part is the text saying we are heading east. So place a map on the Sudoku puzzle with east facing upwards. Read the overlap numbers and you have 285.
You gotta be kidding me.
3. So they went back to the Penguin Logistics website and punched in that tracking code. December 23rd, taken out. Locker expired. Parcel 1 has been taken out. May 1st, waiting for taking out. Parcel 1 has stored in lockers. April 29th, delivery. Cargo has arrived at Lungman Central Hub. April 27th, parcel received. Temporary hub D01 has received the parcel. Parcel 1 out of, with this being the parcel. The code is International Telegraph saying the record of the recorder. They decoded the blue text with Unicode and got this text. When I first met her, she was with that person. Returning to the camp from the desert with difficulty. At first, I didn't take much notice of this girl, but felt intuitively that she's unlike any child I've ever seen. Although as an Outlander, I didn't spend much time with the president, but I noticed at the moment the president set sight on that child, she's no longer as depressed as when she left the committee. As if she became another person. This is when I realized, perhaps I'm not the only one with that feeling. She's not as radiant as a crystal like the president. She's more like an uncut gemstone found among charcoals. She's too special. The president told me the child's name in the end, Amia. She said she might be able to guide this child's growth, but I can see in her eyes that what she desires more is that the child can bring a different silver lining to this land in the future. Signed, Recorder. It's really amazing to see how members of the community came together and created an entire organization with signups for people to join it. And then to have that organization solve the craziest puzzles imaginable, which culminated in us seeing Theresa's hopes and wishes for Amia. And the institution didn't stop there. There have been many other puzzles they've solved and I don't wish to cover all of them, as I would like you to go in the description and go through their Twitter posts showing what they've done or their Weibo posts describing it. Seriously. Some of the puzzles they've solved are absolutely amazing and more people need to know about them. It's criminal that the Great Owl Institute isn't talked about more, though since Hyperglyph has stopped making puzzles they haven't been able to solve much. But in the future, if they ever make another puzzle, I think we all know who the first to solve it will be. But let's talk about the final point of this long iceberg.
No
how
way.
Yostar made Arknights. Now,
That's
of course, that's not
insane.
actually the case. Hyperglyph still made it and Yostar is the publisher. But the reason I bring this up is to detail what happened before Arknights was created. An interview was done with the CEO of Yostar. Thing is, that was done like 4 years ago. I only found out about it as I randomly saw it when scrolling on Reddit, because this post translated the contents of the interview, and from what I've seen, this is the only translation of it. But the interview starts with the question to the CEO of Yostar on what they did after their first game flopped. So the Yostar CEO looked at the company's bank, saw Void had consumed it, then took the natural decision of selling his house. From there, the money was used to publish Azure Lane and then was invested in Hyperglyph for them to later make Arknights. Which is why, when people mistakenly say that Yostar made Arknights, they are not 1,000,000% wrong, just 99%. As it's very likely that even without Yostar having funded Hyperglyph, they would have been fine. Because when High Mouse split from Ghost Frontline, he took a fair bit of talent with him. So the potential of the game and company was really easy to see. And fast forward 7 years later, we now have Arknights, one of the most popular gacha games out there. It's made an amazing world that many people are invested in, created so many fun characters that people love, and fostered a community that is one of the nicest I've seen. either for making some of the best videos ever, or showing their love for the game and so many different artworks for it, or seeing everyone come together to help out a creator who had their channel hacked. I haven't exactly been the most prominent member of the community. After all, I've made like 10 videos on Arknights, but I've been a part of the community for 3 years now. I've seen it through the highs and the lows, but after 3 years of playing this game and being a part of the community, I'm able to confidently say that, man, I love this game.
Doctor! 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 本当によかった。目が覚めて。ドクター、お久しぶりです。アーミュです。
Is it just a closing portion, or is there more for that Sunil added, or is it just the animation?
Face up to the sky, I can feel it now. I've been searching hard for a little while.
Or is it a mashup with music? Oh, it's an A&B.
From the sky, is it in my head, telling me to fly higher up instead of the ground? I know there's trouble. I think that I can find my way beneath the rubble. Is there a flower in the gray? In the gray? 'Cause sometimes I like to imagine. 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 Is it real? I'm trying, but I feel like crying. Sometimes it just hits me. Is there something I'm missing? And I fight my fear, but it likes to steer. From now I'm following the sun till I come undone. I know if there's trouble, I think that I can find my way beneath the rubble. Is there a fire in the gray? And though there's thunder, I'll be okay on my own. But I just wonder, will I ever find a home? Find a home? 'Cause sometimes I like to imagine. 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 Is this real? I just keep dreaming, dancing in the gray and spinning. Is this real? I just keep dreaming, dancing in the gray and spinning.
I know I'm a little late, but here's to Global's 4th anniversary. As I said, I haven't done that much within the community, but after being in it for more than 3 years now, I really want to make a video celebrating the community. So I hope you like this iceberg I made. I will be making more Arknights content like this, as in case it wasn't evident from the length of the video, I got a lot of passion for the game. But since this video has taken more than a month and a half for me to make, for now, I'm just gonna rest. So thank you for watching. Here's to an amazing 4th year of this game we all love.
Snowflakes only on your face.
Oh, that was wonderful. That video was full of laughs, full of great content, a bunch of different stuff. Thank you, Sunil. Thank you for making that entire video. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I both enjoyed the laughs, how much depth and lore there was, and all of the different stuff there was. So once again, thank you. Thank you for creating this. Just to add a little bit about my personal experience, I haven't really been in the... Oh my gosh! I have a celebrity here! Sunil, hello! Guys, that's the person who made the video! Hi, Sunil! I believe my mod had got in contact with you about it, and I will definitely reach out to you after this. Hello. Thank you so much for making this video. It was amazing. It was amazing. Thank you. You worked so hard on this, and I greatly appreciate having you here, both to just, drop in for a moment. And yeah, this video was amazing. Everyone, please give Sunil your thanks. Check out Sunil. I've got Sunil both in the title, in the description, everywhere, because this is a very well-made video. I greatly enjoyed my entire watch, died laughing at so many places and at so many jokes, and also absolutely loved that the little bit of wholesome moments that are there. And heck, I even appreciated learning about the unwholesome moments. Yes, hats off to you. Thank you so much. But just to give a little bit about my experiences, despite how I haven't really been in the community with Arknights for so long, I really enjoyed it. I started with it by streaming, and so many people have, showed up to show support, give their support, help me out with different stages, and even, usher me towards different things that I can do in the game. At no point have I ever been demeaned for how bad I am at this game, which is absolutely amazing, because I know that the entire community is full of amazing individuals who are all about the help. So I love being here, and I've only been here for like 2 months, but it's been great. Everything that I've seen has been great. I love the PVs, I love the music, and I know I'm gonna love the content that's put out here. It's been amazing. Also, thank you for becoming a Wakiyaku Tachi. I will do my best to support your efforts in becoming a main character. But yeah, I hope to honestly see more content. I hope to experience more with this game. And guys, I'm still really excited for the Rainbow Six Siege thing. So yeah, that's exciting. All I'm saying is, going through both this iceberg and just everything in Arknife, I think I've finally decided to try to get my hands on the Prelude to Dawn pack. I'm just saying, support is support. Support for the developers, We're grateful having you too. Thank you, Elbound. And we're grateful for Sunil for this amazing video. I hope that I am pronouncing it right. Alright guys, fun the anime. Yeah, fun season 3. Alright everyone, that being said, I want to thank all of you for being here. You guys are the best part of every single stream, and I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. Tomorrow, don't worry, good. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a just chatting stream, so if you guys are interested, please consider stopping by. If not, then I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful rest of your week. Once again, thank you so much, Sunil, for this video, and thank you for dropping by as well and taking your time. Take care, everyone. Tomorrow, just chatting, I think. Wait, did I get my schedule wrong? Hold on, wait, no. Oh, tomorrow's Lobotomy Corporation. It's not Just Chatting. Never mind. Okay, it's Lobotomy Corporation. Just Chatting is Thursday. Okay. All right, everyone. Take care and have a great day. Please, once more, check out Sunil's channel. Give them views, give them subs, all of that. All right, everyone. Take care and bye-bye for now.